It was always debated. It really was. I mean, for a long period of time, and it's still debatable, is it not? Whether or not baseball is successful here in South Florida. Would you say? I mean, the only people so far that I think it's been really successful for were Laurie and Sampson.
Yes.
Who cashed in billions. Everybody else has left here kicking and screaming, have they not? The son-in-law and Pops, who, have went from buying Dayglow Jesus paintings to all of a sudden he's in the bidding at Sotheby's for a Van Gogh.
Exactly.
It's an original there, Jeff. Okay.
The time. Wake up with Defo, joined by Lubie. Welcome to the Defo Show.
Did you ever wake up in the morning, Lubie, and just feel ruined, feel completely destroyed, feeling like I don't want to know that, let you guys think that it's gotten to this extreme, that it just wasn't worth doing anymore. But have you ever had that feeling of, wow, why me? Nancy Kerrigan. Why me? That was a weird response to getting your knee hacked by, what was the guy's name? Galuli was the guy behind it. Sean Eckert was the guy, the big, ugly monkey. I don't even know if he wasn't really much in the way of muscle, that guy. He was kind of chubby, wasn't he?
Big dude, yeah.
It was like you have a hitman that looks like Butterbean Esh. But have you felt that way, Lubie? I don't know. You've woken up. You awaken almost every minute feeling that way, I believe. You have somewhat of a disaster-thinking mentality, do you not?
I don't know about a mentality, but I definitely wake up shell-shocked most days.
Like, where the fuck did I go wrong? That's what you're thinking. I say that today for a couple of reasons. I spent the first 2 miles of my 4+ mile walk of life yesterday fantasizing about what I was going to do with the Powerball money that I was going to win because I had 10 tickets.
Oh, Jesus.
All right. Now, lately, let's see. I've probably bought, since the jackpot swelled to whatever it was, like 600 million at one point, which was maybe, 6 drawings ago. I've probably blown $100 into Powerball tickets, buying $20 worth at a time, which is a $2 throw. It's kind of like the old $2 pick six, where you're thinking, could you knock this down to $1, huh? So I have a half a shot, but then the pool wouldn't be as large; it would be only half as large, and then you can do the math on that. You would end up. Do you end up with nothing, even if you win like 500 million? Because if you win 500 million, 250 is approximately the lump sum payment. Let's face it. I can't even count on living 20 years. Can I take these payments over 20 years? No. Mark Cuban suggested at one point that would be the way to go. And I'm saying, easy for you to say, Mark, you have a few billion.
Yeah, I thought money people say trust themselves to make money. So they'd rather the lump sum because then the money's in their hands to then invest it wisely and make money. Like, I guess he probably doesn't trust the people to do that. But like, if you're a money person, you'd rather have the money in your hands. Because then you can make, if you have $250 million, you can just make 5% on safe shit. And
you should be able to go to distance with that, unless you're Mike Tyson, right?
Like $25 million a year,
which I think Tyson is killing it now, right? He's making all this money with marijuana and other things. Tyson's making somebody was telling me he's making, like some ridiculous amount of money every month in his marijuana business. But nonetheless, you should be able to go to distance with $250 million, unless you marry Robin Givens, which whatever happened to her? Is she still around? Is Ruth Roper still alive? Remember Ruth Roper, the mother of Robin Givens?
Givens was still acting and stuff here and there, but she hasn't been prominent in 25 years.
She didn't have to be, right? She got all of Mike's money. Incredible. When he was, whatever Don King didn't get, Robin Givens got the rest of it. Mike was left with nothing, man. He didn't have enough to buy a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Incredible. He was still sticking up old ladies in the elevators in Bensonhurst. Anyway, it is. What's more fun to fantasize about, Louis? Fantasize about having like a $500 million hit? Because what do you come away with? It had $1 billion. You're going to get a lump sum of 500 and change, 540 million, something like that. And I believe that was before paying income tax. Now, if you've ever won money at the track and it was beneath the parameters where you didn't have to worry about paying immediate takeout taxes, withholding taxes, In other words, 300 to 1 or better, which they changed the rules on that so it wasn't so prohibitive. Where, look, you're losing your ass your entire life. All of a sudden you hit something and now you got to pay Uncle Sam. Get out of here. Even Donald Trump doesn't pay taxes. And you're some poor schmuck at the track that finally hits for like $6,000, which is not enough to even get his car out of hock. And he's got a fork over money, cash right there. I remember I mistakenly bought a ticket, and it had a combined value of about $5,500. It was a straight $10 ticket, 550 a throw for each dollar. And because I purchased a ticket that way, they just glommed like several $1,000s right off the top there. I was like, you got to be kidding me, man. I got to pay tax on this, and you're taking the money right now off the top of my $11,000 score. You got to be out of your mind. How unjust is this? Talk about weaponizing the Department of Justice. This was right straight out of the Department of Injustice. But anyway, so if you're paying tax now, what would the tax be for the average schmuck on $540 million? Wouldn't it be significant?
Is it up to 40%? I was hoping it was around 30%. Like I can't
30%?
50. I don't know what it is. I'm hoping Andy, who's here, has a better idea. I know it's egregious, but I don't know if it's exactly 50. Like they always say, half of your money is going to the government. I don't think it's exactly 50. I feel like it's around 40%. Somewhere like that.
It could be that high. I my son does taxes for many wealthy people, including athletes who in some cases only have one check that they get. And and a guy that was making $10 million a year was paying like $5 million in tax.
Oh wow, it's up to 50%. Oh geez.
Plus, I mean, how about this? This is something that you never took into consideration. I didn't even realize this. And I've seen it, and I just, I guess, ignored acknowledging the idea that when athletes play ball in different states, they have to pay the state tax on the money they made during the series. Baseball players, I guess it applies to all athletes. So, in other words, if you're playing a 3-game series in Milwaukee and you're making money during that period of time, you're subjected, I believe, to the state tax.
How do they tax that?
You got me. I don't know, but my son's very adept at helping him dodge that fee. Anyway, all right. So let's say it's 40%. You got $500 million. Right? We'll round it off for even numbers. So you're walking away with $300 million, Lubie, free and clear. You don't have to worry about a thing. Nobody's coming after you. You're not going to get any calls. No nasty letters. What is? I mean, is there ever a favorable letter from the IRS? Have you ever received a favorable piece of correspondence from the Internal Revenue Service?
Once I overpaid and I got a refund of some sense, but usually it's not good.
I owed them so much money that even if I did overpay one year by a complete accident, they immediately confiscated the money and then were looking for more. It was like, okay, so where's the rest of this, DeForest, you asshole? All right, so all that being said, and I guess, this is especially relevant since this whole Hunter Biden thing went down again yesterday with the congressional hearings and a couple of whistleblowers. Were those guys just stooges that the Republicans found? What do you think, Libby? What do you make of that? How credible was that?
Doesn't it tell you how little they have on any one Democrat, that they have to keep going to the same two wells? Hillary, oh, there she is. Hillary's in like her 70s, hasn't been in office for well over a decade.
Yeah, I mean, she's irrelevant at this point.
Bringing her up. And Hunter Biden's the son of the now president,
who had a drug problem,
who's never held an actual office, right? Like it's not like Ivanka or Kushner or his entire family that he put in some office so that he could rig the system to keep making money on any governmental deal that happened. It's one son who, again, whatever offices he had were not a direct office to the president. Okay,
right.
One son.
And this was all prior to Biden becoming president.
And he wasn't president at the time. He wasn't even vice president really at the time. He was like a senator. So it's like, this is the one well you guys have. Like, aren't you sort of admitting that the Democrats are actually not as fucking evil and criminal as you are when you keep going to the same two wells?
It was very incestual, the whole thing with Donnie Trump, was it not? I mean, and he even suggested that he would like to sleep with his daughter. So
he actually went and
to the point where people were saying, "Hey, listen, Donnie, do you really want to be saying that in public? I mean, you may believe that, you might not mean it, but it doesn't sound good. It's an ugly look for the president of the United States to be talking about how hot his daughter is and how he'd like to sleep with her. Unbelievable. All right, so you thought that was all bogus yesterday. It didn't seem like much.
I don't think it's stupid. In a world with Photoshop, pictures mean nothing. Like, I don't give a shit about a picture you show me. You can do so many things to a picture.
Yeah.
that a picture means nothing. Like video almost doesn't matter. Like, and you're in Congress, go do something worthwhile.
I don't know. I asked Ray Rice about that.
Yeah, well, exactly. But even then, still people question video. Like a picture in the middle of a like. What do you think you're proving? No one gives a shit about Hunter Biden. It doesn't affect my daily life at all. There's so much things going on in this country.
It's kind of a little bit more bizarre version of Billy Carter. Maybe a
You
little.
want to punish Hunter Biden? Punish him. No, we're not stopping you. We're not the Republicans. I don't give a shit if you punish Hunter Biden. I don't give a shit if you investigate it. But to keep finding nothing and go, well, the
There it is.
right?
Yeah.
Like, come on, I don't give a shit. Like, you found nothing. We know you found nothing, so get over it. Move the hell on. Maybe do your job. Help fix this country that you keep wanting to fix so badly.
Does anybody in the Republican Party have a single policy that they would like to discuss? That's an interesting question. All right, we don't want to get too deeply into that because that is always depressing. Another reason to feel like you didn't want to wake up in the morning. But okay, so anyway, on my walk of life, first couple of miles, I spent, and it went by easily because I was having such a good time fantasizing about what I was going to do with this $300 million I was going to win. Yeah. I bought 10 quick picks. I deliberately went to some schmanky place with the Chinese guy that owns the place. I got ripped off on the beer that I was purchasing deliberately, thinking, okay, this is the place. The beer may be overpriced, and they don't really have what I want in a fashion that I would like to purchase it, but nonetheless, well worth it because this is the kind of place where you hit a Powerball jackpot. I was going to do like a Clooney thing where I was going to gather together some of my friends and, say, hey, here's a duffel bag. And, I have it look like it was just some kind of swag that we developed here from the show with like South Florida Live on it. And then just have $1 million in there and give it to like 20 people. And then, as I suggested it again, this is the second or third time this has happened to me. I got in an argument with the Mustang about how we were going to distribute the money. It's like we haven't won the money, Mustang.
You got it in a fight, not this time.
Again.
I just poo-poo it.
She was like, "You're giving how much to Lubie?"
How much to Lubie?
I said, "What do you got against Lubie? I mean, let the kid live his life. This is great. The guy's been with me 12 years. If I can afford to give him $5 million, what the hell? Well, and I still have 245 left."
Staying, I'm not asking for your money, so this is a default thing. Whatever. Anyways,
I'm just using you as an example. Everybody I brought up in the Mustang's estimation was undeserving of this level of charity.
Look, the smart thing, actually, that's what Ken says is the smart thing is if you're going to give people money, don't let them come to you. Pick a number, give it to them, and then that's the last. What happens to people is they're an open fucking bank. So anytime anyone comes to them, they just write a check because they think they have so much money, and that's how you get fucked. If you want to be giving, which you're allowed to be, I don't think you have to.
Look, I mean, that's way more money than I would need to get out. So, I mean, I would want to give a good portion of it to people that I've experienced life with.
Anyone that I know that had any trouble would be set for life. It's $200 fucking million. But anyways, but you don't have to. What I'm saying is if you're going to do it, that's actually not the worst thing. Pick a number, give it to them. Just give it freely. You don't want it back. You don't give a shit what they do with it.
No, I definitely don't want it back. Sure.
Then you close the book, though. Then that's it. Okay, I've given you your money.
Now I got to turn my back on you.
Oh, you don't turn your back, but now I'm
Paul Sorvino and Goodfellas, right? $3,200 for a lifetime. Can you believe that? Henry Hill. But I mean, to be fighting over this is insane, right? To even have the slightest, blip of an argument about how you were going to distribute this cash. Well, I'm going to give like $50 million to my son. What? What about me? Anyway, it became irrelevant as I threw the ticket away. So that whole pipe dream went out the window, and now the jackpot's down to zero again. And so, what? Do you turn your attention to the other one? There's another one floating out there. Mega Millions, also impossible to hit.
Someone hit it? Someone hit this billion?
Somebody hit the billion, in California.
Of course. Where?
Another obscure California. I mean, I had the right plan. I went to some, really schmanky-looking convenience store where, normally you would never set foot in the place unless you were absolutely desperate.
Like you purposely went schmanky.
I sought this place out.
Like some, not even 7-Eleven.
You can't even get into the parking lot. And it's so tight in there. They had one truck in there delivering beer. And I guess a couple of people pulled in. And when they pulled in, it created such chaos, you would have thought that you were on the Palmetto at 8:30 in the morning.
That's actually a good question. Did you hit any numbers? That's why I stopped doing it, because every time we did it, we didn't hit one number.
Well, I mean, here's a weird thing, and it's no great consolation. Between the 10 tickets that I bought, I did have all 5 of the numbers
Oh, nice.
somewhere on the ticket.
Okay, nice.
Okay, but I mean, you're thinking, wow, how bizarre is that? I mean, it's just a mad scramble. I go for the quick picks. I don't have the patience to fill it out. Although 2 of my main numbers came in, Lubie, 7 and 13. I always play that
Nice.
on a roulette wheel. I play it, at the track. Whatever it is, 7 and 13 are 2 of my, go-to numbers for any kind of luck or gambling situation.
Yeah, yeah.
And you got to play Danny Boy, don't you? You think he had it? You think Danny had 13? Can you wheel a number? I mean, is there a strategy to it? Has anybody? Do we know it? We don't know anybody that's ever hit this stuff. So why would we be asking people how they play the game?
I mean, our buddy CJ's hit like 3 scratchers for really big scores. He's
Oh
like,
yeah,
luck with scratch. Yeah,
I have zero luck on that, man. I all I end up with is that stupid stuff all over the
I never
countertop.
won anything. I never even won like $3 back. But CJ's, I think, for multiple thousands of dollars in his life. I mean,
Is that right?
yeah, he's done pretty well. At least twice, maybe 3 times.
That's unreal.
I feel like Jersey's hit on one of these scratcher fucking things.
Jersey's, yeah, he's got serendipitous luck though, which you and I don't have.
No, it's the opposite.
Is that a Jewish thing? What do you think? CJ, non-Jew, Jersey Kyle, non-Jew, you, me, Mayo, Jews.
Maybe.
Tell me there isn't some kind of religious bias involved in this thing.
Something there.
All right. So anyway, I get in an argument over money that I'll never have. So that was great. And there goes the return to the great Mike Zito's song. I want a second chance at living a first class life. And we do. We're seeking that out. That's why we're endeavoring this. So that was bummer number 1. I mean, come up empty on that. And then number 2. I mean, what a pity. You talk about holy Peter Alice. What an absolute shame, Lubie. Did you see the conditions? I'm watching the British Open now on TV. It's on USA Network. Started coverage at 4 a.m.
Okay.
I don't know if I get Peacock. I'm not sure. You'd think I would know by now. I mean, I've only had this system intact here for like 3 months, but I'm not sure if I get it or not.
I don't have it. I know you can get it. There's an app, so you can get some stuff on Peacock, but to actually get the full force of Peacock, you have to pay for it. But maybe I think there's some cable system, either a Comcast or something, that you get it free with it. I don't know. I don't have cable, so I have no idea. I don't get it.
All right. Well, I mean, the conditions are. I love the fact that golf. They talk about conditions as if you were talking about some cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, the conditions out here are absolutely malignant today. I don't know that anybody's going to be able to do anything to even sniff the slightest semblance of a par. You're like, okay, what the fuck is that? In other words, it's fucking raining. I mean, of course it is. Of course it's raining and it's ugly, but it's not. It's sunny. It's beautiful. It's calm. Everybody is under par. It's disgusting. These courses are just pathetic. They're easier than a par 3 if the conditions are not bizarre. Well, the conditions are certainly benign here today, and it's a pity because the challenge is definitely... So you have some amateur guy after 17 holes, Lamprecht, an amateur, is leading the British Open at 4 under par.
The shitty weather will come. Believe me. I mean,
it's gorgeous out there. You would want to go there on vacation. You would think that there's a sandal somewhere nearby and you could just load up on booze like you were Nick Cage and leaving Las Vegas and have a room full of alcohol. I'm looking at the leaderboard right now. Stuart Sink, an improbable choice. Stuart Sink.
The hell?
I mean, he's kind of an elder statesman. Is he on the senior tour, Stuart Sink, at this stage?
He's been around.
Got to be over 50.
Yeah, he's been around a long time. I mean, I don't see how he's not.
Some guy named Jordan, I'm not even sure who that is 2 under. Another guy named Peters, who is obviously a nondescript European schmenk. He was 4 under. He double bogeyed a hole, and now he's 2 under. So a bunch of guys are 2 under par. Soo Wee Kim, would you have played Soo Wee Kim?
I don't
know. Or is it Sim Yu Kim? I don't even know. This guy, he's been prominent. Every now and then you look at that name on the possible odds to win a tournament, and you're thinking, maybe I take a shot with this guy. Okay, so it's, Marcel Siem from Germany is 3 under. Sinkman is 3 under after 16. This guy's only played 5 holes. He's on fire. Matthew Jordan is the name of the guy. He's a Brit. Thomas Peters from Belgium. Si Woo Kim. Nikolai Hogard. Wow, I mean, another amateur is 2 under. Tiger Christensen. Who are these people, Lubie?
I don't know any of these people.
Scotty Scheffler was 2 under, but he must have fallen back. Cam Smith is 1 under, the defending champion. He's through 8 holes. But the conditions are ideal. Lubie, I can't stand it. What is the point of even living if you're going to watch the British Open? The only fun of it is our usual dissertation about the British novel and Dickens and all of this stuff and the foghorns and the ugly people. And sure enough, perfect, ideal, pristine conditions. You were thinking maybe you're out there in Miami Lakes, and Gurggles is in the starter's booth and says, "Okay, 7:45 tee time. You're up." Speaking of Gurggles, he is up, and we're going to have a Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Look how handsome this man looks. He can't possibly be the same age or thereabouts as I am.
He looks like he's getting younger. It's freaking weird.
What are you doing, Gurggles? Are you shooting Botox? What are you doing?
No, I am shooting hydronic acid.
Okay.
In the knee?
The injection you told me about.
Nice.
Is it doing better? It's been a couple of weeks now.
I had my second shot yesterday. I got one more to go, and I'm doing physical therapy, swimming a little bit.
Nice.
If I get rid of about 20 pounds, it'll really help. I want to be fresh enough so I don't need a cane when I go to Saratoga to go to the betting windows in August. So
you don't want to be walking around with a cane at the track. People look disparagingly upon you.
It does work. If people are betting 10-cent superfectas ahead of me, I just hit them with the cane at the window, so that helps.
Larry the Leaper, you might take an errant swipe at as you walk by, or maybe you use the hook part, and just trip a guy up on his way to the window.
I like that.
You would be deadly with a cane, actually, and you had one the last time I saw you at Gulfstream. Now, is the pain easing off at all?
A little bit. When I get up in the morning, when I first get out of bed, it's pretty wicked. But as the day goes on, it gets a little better. So I'm hoping with that third shot and watching my diet a little better and more physical therapy and swimming. I'm doing some swimming too. That I can avoid the issue at least until the new year. I'd like to just go through the fall and then make a decision based upon that. But not a problem. But the good news is, there's a website you probably are familiar with, DailyRacingForm.com, and every day they have news and little articles. Well, they had a big article on Wednesday morning about the trainer of a horse called Belfast Banter in the jumps, saying that he think he's found the right distance. Last time he went to the front, this is the perfect distance for him. I bet him yesterday in the first race on the jumps. He was 16-1, and he won by 5 lengths.
Oh, wow, nice.
Yeah.
Man, when you're hitting the jumper race, that's an encouraging sign, is it not?
That's the only race I hit all day. So that was the best one.
I had a beauty yesterday, although it ended up being a loss of whatever money I had in my pocket at the time. I went out there with a very small amount of money, just because. And this was sparked by my friend Big Rich, who sends me a text at about 10:30 in the morning, and he says, I'm leaving town a little earlier than I thought, and I left you today's racing form on my mailbox. So
nice.
He lives about a half a mile away from me, so I went and I picked that up, and I thought, well, since I had the form, I may as well take advantage of it, head out to the track. I had already perused the entries for Saratoga, and I came up with a couple of mind bets based on the entries in the New York Post and the handicapping that's done there by Cangelosi, Vic Cangelosi it is, not John Cangelosi, the baseball player.
Right.
And, he's not very good, but, I mean, he's in an impossible spot trying to pick horses the day before, not the easiest of things to do. So, I give him the benefit of the doubt there. He actually holds his own and ends up losing money for the meet if you took the $2 straight wager on all of his plays, but who could possibly come out ahead in that? A particular endeavor. So I had an idea, and then I get to the track, and I don't know if my vision is going or not, but I know the first race was at 110. I didn't get there till about 140, and I thought they were heading into the third race. So I made a pick 3 based on that, and sure enough, they were only heading into the second race.
Oh boy.
So I hit the first leg of the pick 3, but then the horse that I was really keying off, which was in the fourth race, who ended up being scratched, I had heavied up that number in the next leg of the pick 3 sequence, and it was too late to change it. So I'm looking, I'm going, good, I got the first leg, and that's when I realized, oh, Jesus, I bet the wrong races. So sure enough, the horse that I ended up betting by mistake looms up after breaking last, and looms up and looks like he has a chance to win the race, finishes second. I end up with the back wheel saver ticket on the Exacta, which paid well, but I'm out of the pick 3. And sure enough, my horse that I had crushed in the next leg by accident also ended up winning. And
Oh, boy.
had that horse prevailed in the second leg, I would have walked away with a couple of dimes, totally by
Beautiful.
mistake, and that would have been my best hit in a long, long time. And I'm convinced now that that's the way to do it. Now you don't get involved in Powerball or any of that.
I played 2 quick picks in Powerball and Mega Million. I have the tickets at home. Haven't even looked. I'll go to my
Okay.
local Publix and run them through. Did you ever think, though, when you run them through, depending on where you go, the guy goes, "No, that's a loser," and then the next thing you know, he's putting $400 in his own pocket. Now I wonder if they ever do that.
Yeah, I wouldn't trust that system. I definitely check it myself. I mean, against the numbers that are posted, it's readily
I'll have to
available
do
what the
that.
numbers were. No, but I never thought I would go to the grocery store and feel like I do at the track when the guy is running. Goes and stoops and picks up 100 tickets and then just puts them all through the self-betting machine right before you're trying to get in a bet before Delaware goes off and they're
Yeah,
in the
yeah.
gate, and you've got the winner. You never thought you'd be experiencing that at Publix, right? Where a guy has a stack of losing Powerball tickets and loser, and you're just trying to buy like a roast beef sandwich, and that's it. All right, and everything going well, Gurggles? I mean, are you into this?
Yeah.
Can you believe
Yeah,
that
we're
you've
busy
been
out
over
here.
there to Europe and seen these courses? You've played a couple of them, right?
Ireland. I've been to Ireland. I played in Ireland, and we arrived in the rain, but then we had some beautiful weather, and it's just wonderful over there. Yeah, I mean, the course looks terrific. That 17th hole you were talking about, they added in there as wow, that's going to be a giant killer. And I wouldn't worry about the weather. I think that, to be honest with you, the people like me root for good weather the first 2 days, so the best players everybody has a chance to make the cut. Then the weekend, let the torrential stuff come through in the wind, and put a challenge to them. But the first 2 days, I want everybody to have an equal shot at the weather, morning and afternoon. And then when it gets to Saturday and Sunday, God bless them. It'll be interesting. I'm a Tommy Fleetwood guy. That's who I like.
Everybody's rooting for Fleetwood to win this thing. There's a big article in the Post today about Tommy Fleetwood and how he's due to win his first major. He's in there. In fact, he's on the screen right now. I don't know if you're watching this, but
no, I'm not. Where's the USA Network right now?
USA Network, yes. And I think they start at 4 a.m. and go the rest of the day, which is always enjoyable for me because
Sure.
that's one of my favorite circumstances. If you're going to do morning drive radio or streaming like this, screaming is probably more appropriate. Always great to have live sporting action taking place while that's going on, and it only happens a few times a year. Maybe a little World Cup, I don't know, which I'm not that big of a fan of.
Australian Open.
Well, yeah, French Open, Australian Open. Australian Open though is like the next day. I can never figure out what's going on in Australia because you're watching the Tuesday tournament and it's only Sunday. And you're thinking, wait a minute, how are they that far out of sync with the rest of the universe? But you're talking about 5 hours differential, I think, in England. And so you get the French and a couple of those European tournaments were on the Tennis Channel. And then, of course, Wimbledon. And now you have the British Open, which is probably my favorite of the events between the Masters, PGA, and the U.S. Open because of the bizarre nature of the conditions. But I don't know. I mean, are you a good links course player? I would have been better at links courses because of my tendency to hit balls that never got more than 2 feet off the ground in terms of elevation.
I enjoy the links courses too because you can actually putt from 50 yards off the green.
Yeah.
Which I'm a lousy chipper, so I love the links courses, love the site. And one thing links courses don't have, if you know, is trees.
Trees, no trees, and do you have agua on the course itself, or just on the
not usually. They're more parkland style for the inland courses.
I've never seen a lake in there
for sure.
Yeah,
I think if I'm not mistaken, this course has an out of bounds inside the fairway on one hole.
Is that right? That's great.
Yeah. It's a difficult hole, and there's an out of bounds right where some of the drives will be. So it's going to be a unique challenge, that's for sure.
All right, well, we'll see. I didn't end up in any kind of betting action on this. Lubie had a couple of selections that I thought were favorable. I don't think most of those guys have teed off yet. But, he was into Dustin Johnson to win the thing. Who was your other guy? Schauffele?
Schauffele, and we talked about...
Oh, you were going to take a shot with DeChambeau. No? Were you in on DeChambeau?
Yeah, we talked about DeChambeau being a good bet because it was like 50
to 1. Yeah.
Stupid-ass number.
I mean, think about it. With nothing to inhibit him and the ability to hit the ball miles offline... and still be in a good position. No blockage, no trees, no woods, no thatch, no nothing. DeChambeau may be worth a shot. I don't know. We'll see. He'll probably win it now, and I'll have sat there chilly. My 100 would have only got me 5,000, Gurggles.
It's only
Now,
money.
you've had success betting golf. Didn't you buy a futures ticket when we were in Vegas for the 70th
I
birthday
hit one
exchange?
on Mickelson one time at 8-1 after I had Italy to win the World Cup. But that's it. When we were there, I was happier betting 20-cent pick fives at Woodbine than golf.
Did you ever think that you would find yourself saying, take the points with Vietnam against the United States?
No, I didn't.
Because
I didn't.
NAM,
But
the NAM women's soccer team opens up against the U.S. team. As
the latest rumor I heard, though, is it's very imminent that it shouldn't be too much longer till we get table games and sportsbook at places like the Hard Rock.
Yeah,
you're probably closer to that than me.
I've
heard that from people there.
Well, and a guy was telling me this when I went on the Alta Conquer junket. This guy is kind of a high roller. It seems like he's in the know. And he was saying they already had it, that they had instituted it that day that we were leaving. But I don't know that that's the case yet.
No,
every other state in the world has it. I don't know. Every ass backwards state in the country has sports gambling except for us. But then again, I mean, Uncle Ron, when he made that clandestine deal with the Seminoles, obviously left a few people in the dark about that. And there were several challenges made. And the next thing you know, we had nothing, which is great. Thank you, Ron DeSantis. I love the way he does business. All right, we're going to do the trivia challenge. Are you ready to go with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge? Very good.
Yes,
you can
sir.
dial us up if you want to play. 954-417-0070. I know even for some of our regulars, it comes as somewhat of a surprise because we don't make the actual announcement until we see Gurggles pop up on the screen here. No, you've been very reliable in terms of keeping Lubie informed about your whereabouts and availability. So we will have the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, 954-417-0070 if you'd like to join us. And Hialeah Park, always a great place to go. Toga. Lately, they've been posting on their Facebook page, the whole concept of, you can come out here and at the same time you can enjoy this inherent beauty that Hialeah Park is and always has been. And, it is a nice change, isn't it? To get a little atmosphere with your casino experience, just absolutely fantastic. And I know, Gurggles, you've always been a big fan of the Champion Simulcasting Room.
Yeah, they do. I mean, they do a terrific job, whether it's a brass rail bar and getting a $3.50 beer or a $2 sandwich right there. And then all those 60-inch screens right there where you were a little more social than me at the track, where I like my own privacy, can get my own little booth with my own TV and see all the other races all at once. Or if I feel like having a McAllen and jumping in with all the guys yelling and screaming, go right to the brass rail bar. And if I need a little break, I walk out to the track with a Perdomo cigar, watch the flamingos, handicap a little bit, put the cigar down, go back in and bet. Can't beat it. And it's very close to me, easy to get to, free parking, free admission. And if you don't have a racing form, you can get the past performances per track from the machine for just $2. So they got it made at Hialeah Park, and there's no reason you shouldn't go there, especially for the Saratoga meet.
I'm laughing because I've seen you seemingly go through a vital transformation when betting the horses. And I've seen you whooping it up with the guys, but for the most part, deep-rooted cynicism comes out in Dave Gurggles Gergely. And some guy will be cheering for a horse, and, you'll just come right out after the race and say, why don't you take that favorite and shove him right up your ass?
Yeah, there's a guy at Gulfstream that every time he's rooting, it's for a 3 to 5 shot.
Yes.
So I keep yelling at the guy, here's $3.20. Leave me alone. Come on, get out of here. Jesus.
Listen, Mr.
Criminal.
Chalk, get out of my face.
Yeah, chalk-eating weasels, as you would say. Yep.
Bring him some Pepto-Bismol or milk of magnesia one time and just offer him a drink. Yeah. So, here, you've been eating chalk all day long. Why don't you drink this? Wash it down with this. All right, we're going to come back with the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Dial us up if you want to play, 954-417-0070. Lubie is always trying to implore new blood to get into the game here, and we haven't been very successful with that, even though we know people are out there on the sidelines. We see them on the chat line going, hey, the answer's B.
Yeah.
So
I don't understand why those chat people just don't come on live. I mean, just for fun. Even if you don't live here, you can get it, and you get the $25 certificate. You can sell it to Lenny for $20, and you're both happy.
It's Wheel of Fortune syndrome, though, where you've been watching Wheel of Fortune your whole life. Like the Mustang is a giant
Yes.
Wheel of Fortune fan, right?
Yeah, me too.
And she's screaming at the people, the contestants, are you idiot? It's to be or not to be. How can you miss that, right? They have everything spelled out except like maybe one letter, and they still can't figure out the puzzle. And you're thinking these people are the dumbest people that you've ever seen in your lifetime, which is part of the thrill of watching the show. And then by some bizarre chance, you get to audition for the show and you totally freeze. Right? They had the auditions at Gulfstream, right? So
Yes.
here's a Mustang, and she bombs out, doesn't solve a single puzzle.
No, really?
That would be me. I don't know. No, she'd probably be pretty good. But you know what? When you actually arrive at the moment of truth, it's the old Tony Segredo thing. How do you do in the moment? Can you do it? So probably not as easy as it looks. All right, we're coming back with more. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge gets underway in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Thank you, Johnny. It's 7:41. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodsey, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
Oh, solo volante will be coming late. Oh, solo volante. The Belmont's now 1.8 miles. The finish line is coming up quick. Luca Panici just switch the stick.
The only way to get the morning started is with Defo, joined by Lubie, right here on the Defo Show.
All right, we're going to loosen up here and play the game, the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge, of course, hosted by the great Dave Gurggles Gergely. Mike Lubie Lubitz is taking your telephone calls at 954-417-0070. And I'm just riding shotgun on this thing and having a good time along with you on this fine Thursday. Jump on board if you want to play, 954-417-0070. You just heard the dulcet tones of our dear friend, the Polyman, co-creator of the game. Well, he was a co-creator in the sense that he created the game and then I took credit for it, which was great. So he became the co-creator of the game. And, it was a game that was born of total and utter desperation, as we've explained many times when we were doing the horse racing show. And there's a guy named David Rovine was the marketing director at Gulfstream Park at the time, a very short-lived stint as an executive at Gulfstream Park. And that was at a time when there was far less turnover in the business, where guys like Joe Tannenbaum were in the same position. He was the publicity director there and kind of ran the whole track under Doug Don for like 50 years. And you had the same guys. So, if you're kind of in with this guy's, it's a good thing. This guy comes in as a marketing director. He doesn't know Polyman and me from a hole in the wall. We're the only guys advocating horse racing on the radio or any form of electronic media here. Papers aren't covering it too much anymore either. And we're thinking, okay, we're a good thing for this racetrack to kind of keep going. Nominal amount of money for the sponsorship. He said, nah, we're going into petting zoos and concerts. That's going to be the way we're going. We're spending all of our money in that direction. And I was thinking, geez, you know how it is, Gurggles. The petting zoo, look, no interest in that. And the concerts were a nuisance to anybody who was betting because you were having to trample all these guys on your way to the window to get money down while they were singing along with some has-been band that was finished in 1965. So we ended up pivoting and saying, hey, through your good friend from Sony, who got us going, and here came originally the Sony
Chris Steiner, right?
Sony Sports Showdown we had, and then that turned into the Trivia Challenge, and now sponsored by Hialeah Park. So we're going to have some fun. Roll up your sleeves. Get ready to play. 954-417-0070. And in honor of the Polyman, co-creator of the game, largely responsible for its existence, let's start out the game, Gurggles, with Dave Gurggles Gergely and some
Easy Baseball. This Mets broadcaster, known for his slips of the tongue, going to a commercial once said, "We'll be right back after this word from manufacturer's hangover." What's that? Our dear friend Ralph Kiner, Mel's Diner, Mel Blanc, or put a tiger in your tank?
One of the things I was going to do, and as the scrambler rolls, one of the things I was going to do with my Powerball money if I won, I was going to, get some custom gifts, and I was going to get a Ralph Kiner likeness in neon, and a Kiner's Corner, and I was going to name it like Nando's Corner and give it to Nando there for his bar.
Very good.
Isn't that kind of a little version of Kiner's Corner there that goes on?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
a little bit.
Very much so. All right, the scrambler landed on Lenny, the Chronic. You're starting us out today on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Lenny.
Hey, good morning, guys. How's everybody?
Good morning, Craig.
We're good. How come you sound particularly clear today, Lenny? Are you somewhere other than the location you usually play the game?
I'm most surprised. Gurggles, you weren't there last week and we won.
I know. I'm sorry about that. I apologize to all the other teams.
You're still invited. You're still invited to join us tonight.
All right.
Well, thanks. I always appreciate that. You got a good group of people.
Lubie will have the live trivia with the professor. I mean, you get to meet two superstars, and then on top of that, experience all the great Landlubbers vibe and the great food there.
Oh.
The garlic Parmesan wings, are they still like a go-to item for you, Lubie?
They have them, but they've morphed into a creamy garlic Parmesan where it's a very similar flavor, but a little bit of a kick, which you like. So
all right.
How about this one? The blackened salmon sweet teriyaki bowl over vegetables.
Oh, wow.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Sounds very Mayo-esque. Have you been hanging out with Mayo?
No. Just I had it last time I was there. It was terrific.
Mayo steak right after at some other restaurant. All right, so that's going on tonight with Lubie Landlubbers, and it's located what?
Line Island,
Sunrise Boulevard.
Sunrise.
Yeah.
Plantation of Sunrise Boulevard.
All right, you have 1 point.
One time.
Good start to the game.
All right, Lenny, golf, true or false? Rob, you may have seen this before the British Open. Last week, Scottish Open, Rob McIntyre had the lead and lost to Rory McIlroy, who birdied both 17 and 18. McIntyre, of Scottish descent, in a lighthearted interview afterwards, vowed not to drink Irish whiskey for 1 month.
Yeah.
Wow.
True or false?
Yeah, why not? True.
No.
All right, you made that up, yeah.
That's false. Yeah, I did.
I wouldn't be referencing alcohol in that spot. Your boy Tommy Fleetwood Mac, by the way, just birdied a hole from about 16 feet away, and he's now 2 under through 11. 3 off the pace being set by the amateur Lamprecht, whose first name is already escaped.
If he gets the flat stick going, that's why DeChambeau will not win. No good. He's a lousy
Can't
putter,
putt?
I think. But I don't think so. But
Probably, I mean, it's the old Ben Wright thing. He can't see the ball, beneath those breasts that have been inflated by all of the steroids that he was doing.
yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Got him fired. All right, you have 1 going for 4 here, Lenny. Not unusual for you, as Tom Jones would say, to miss the true/false question.
All right, Lenny, I know you're a big baseball fan, so let's give you a soccer question. Okay, soccer. In this week, in July of 2018, France won their 2nd World Cup title with a 4-2 win over what's that? Belgium, Argentina, Croatia, or Germany?
Let's go with Argentina.
I'm going to go Germany.
Good guess. Croatia.
Croatia?
Yep.
I mean, the closet's not far away. I could break out the shirt if you want me to wear it the rest of the show for getting that wrong. I should have had that. Lenny, I feel your pain. One going for 6.
All right, sports, Lenny. What Major League Baseball team in 2000 drafted Michael Vick as a pitcher? Was
All right,
that
good one? Wow.
the Orioles, the Phillies, the Reds, or the Rockies?
No clue. Jesus.
Let's go with the Orioles.
No,
The
let's
Reds?
go with the Rockies. The
Rockies.
Colorado Rockies drafted him.
Don't they draft everybody? They drafted like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar when he was coming out of college. They're always spending a draft pick on some bizarre guy. Wow. All right. Very good. Lenny bombs out, fails to get a score worthy of being in the finals, and he has no luck with the random phone scrambler once we get to that stage. So I'm figuring that it was sayonara to Lenny there after the opening round. You can dial us up if you want to play 954-417-0070, 954-417-0070 if you'd like to play the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. One of the things that we always love about this particular segment is Dave Gurggles Gergely once again reminding us about the just absolute magnificent greatness of Perdomo cigars.
Yes, and they're local. They're right here in the Miami Lakes area, 57th Avenue, right off the Palmetto, 5150 Northwest 167th Street, the exact address. That's me at the Maldives enjoying a cold one and a beautiful Perdomo cigar. You don't have to go 26 hours to close to Sri Lanka to get a Perdomo cigar. You can get them right here. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Go in there, see Nick Jr. and say, hey, congratulations on the birth of your lovely daughter, Lucia. And you can get yourself a great Perdomo cigar. Connecticut wrapper, Maduro wrapper, a punch, a Churchill, any size you want, any flavor you want, they make them great, and they make them perfect one at a time. They're Cuban seed tobacco grown on the Nicaraguan farm where that Perdomo owns, and they are perfect cigars to get. And whether it's for you or a gift for someone else, go in there, ask Nubia, who is the new receptionist there. She'll direct you to the humidor. You can ask Nick or Ralph or any of the folks there for help on selecting a great cigar, whether it's a gift for you or whether you just want to enjoy a great cigar. Today, put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars. And if you're going on the weekend, they're closed, so go to PerdomoCigars.com to find a retailer near you that sells these great cigars. Perdomo Cigars, perfect.
One at a time. You smoke them one at a time, right? Is that the thing?
Yeah, there you go.
Smoke them if you got them. Very fine cigar shops in San Juan, which naturally they were pushing their own agendas there, but prominently featured Perdomo cigars. And if you went in there and asked for a Perdomo, well, the locals were thinking, hey, yeah, there's a guy with some taste. Absolutely incredible. So world-renowned Perdomo cigars. Great job there by Nick Perdomo getting that whole thing started out of the trunk of his car. All right, we've been waiting for this for a long, long time, I believe, and I think it's going to happen here as Gurggles toss out our next set of questions.
Okay.
Lubie's already warming up the scrambler just to make sure that it's working. Yeah. He just oiled it up during the break.
Since we got the British Open going, let's give a golf quote.
Okay.
This announcer, on the first time he saw John Daly's haircut, said, wow, he looks like he's got a divot over each ear. Who's that? David Faraday, David Cohen, David Letterman, or David and Goliath?
It did look like they took a weed whacker and cut that. All right, here's a random phone scrambler. We've been imploring people to call in and try it for the first time. I think we've been doing this about a year and a half in this format on this particular streaming platform. And we have a new player, Tom from Miami. You're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Welcome, Tom. Thank you so much. How about some celebratory sound effects or something there, Lubie? Hang on here. We're going to welcome you in the proper fashion here. A warm welcome. Lubie, you got anything? Goat sounds, anything? What do you got? Just punch up anything.
There you go.
All right.
There we go. Beautiful.
Wasn't exactly what we were looking for, but
Tom,
welcome, Tom.
Well done. Please call every week and bring some more friends with you because it's a lot of fun. You can easily, you've already tied our leader in the clubhouse with one. So now we give true or false question for you, Tom.
He's in a dead heat with the all-time champion, Lenny the Chronic.
There it is. Yeah. Soccer, former host of The Family Feud and one of the stars of Hogan's Heroes, Richard Dawson, believe it or not, as a youth growing up in England, played soccer for the Liverpool junior team. True or false?
I believe that's true.
No.
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 Why didn't you just
Sorry.
try Danny DeVito in that spot,
Yeah,
Gurggles?
well, that was our first one. That would have been yet another one.
Played for Italy. All right. It's not uncommon, Tom. Don't feel badly to be stumped by the true false question here. So you still have 1 point, and you're going for 4. And the good news is you can't be shut out.
All right, Tom, maybe you watched this last week on TV. Golf. When Steph Curry won the American Century Club golf tournament in Lake Tahoe, which I've been there several times, last Sunday, he became only the second NBA player to ever win that event. Who was the first? Was it Steve Kerr, Michael Jordan, Kevin McHale, or Vinny Del Negro?
Oh, God.
Michael Jordan.
Had to be Del Negro.
Oh,
No?
good
Gotta be
guess.
Del Negro.
It was Vinny Del Negro.
There's no other
Vinny
reason
Del
you would have put
Negro.
his name on this list.
Why was Del Negro there?
Yeah.
And I don't know if anybody, and I'm a golf nut, so I watched that. Plus, I love Lake Tahoe. It was a Stableford, and Marty Fish, the tennis player, was up 3 points on the last hole. In the middle of his backswing, somebody screamed and yelled. He hooked it right, and Steph Curry wins it with an eagle on the last hole. And that guy got screwed badly, believe it or not. Okay. All right. See if we can get you an easier question.
It's kind of like when we were watching at the Honda Classic, Lubie and I. We had a fascination naturally with fat athletes, and Kiridesh Effie Barnrat was our favorite. He was the only fat golfer that was on the tour at the time. And Lubie couldn't help himself. In the middle of his backswing, he's like 1 under contesting, for the lead early in the first round. And Lubie screams, "Miss it, fatso!" Right in the middle of his backswing.
I can't believe
it. And it
Louis
resonated all through, the entire area of the course there because there wasn't much else being said.
You ever met me?
It could be a distraction, even to the most,
right,
professional
Tom.
of golfers. All right.
This 5-pointer will give you the lead outright. And we'll give you a baseball question, try and make it a little easier for you. Prior to National League's All-Star Game victory last week, the last time the National League won the All-Star Game was 2012, when the winning pitcher was
wow, that's rough.
Jesus.
Pat Neshek, Heath Bell, Tyler Clippard, or Matt Cain.
Could you repeat those, please?
Sure. Happy to help you, Tom. Paul Neshek, Heath Bell, Tyler Clippard, or Matt Cain.
I'm going to say Heath Bell.
Goes with Bell.
Was it Kane?
We were
Matt
rooting for
Cain?
you with Matt.
I was going
Cain.
to say that.
And the loser was Justin Verlander. They won 8-0 that time. But Tom, please call us next week. You're still tied for the lead.
Right. I mean, you're not out of this game, Tom. So hang around. You could be finding your way into the finals. Sort of. I mean, like a lot of our South Florida teams, just backing their way into the postseason and then finding their way into the finals. Very reminiscent of what happened with the Panthers and the Heat this year. All right, we're going to come back with more here. The Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge continues. Dave Gurggles Gergely is your master of ceremonies. We have nobody with a total worthy of being in the finals, and we have an open line at 954-417-0070. Almost gave out my own number there. 954-417. What's your phone number, Mr. DeForest? 954-417-0070. Are you seeing stuff about this scam, Gurggles, where people call you and they say, is this Dave Gurggles Gergely? And if you say yes, then they record that yes, and then they make it seem like, they later do some editing and make it seem like you ordered something and agreed to whatever the price was or the policy.
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, I usually don't identify myself, but yeah. But whenever the
See, I always come back with something that you might have heard from Vito back in the day, which is, who wants to know? And
that's right.
That way, you don't have to worry about somebody taking your acknowledgement that you've accepted whatever it was that was their bizarre and worthless order. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Nobody with a total worthy of being in the finals. Wide open to get there. 954-417-0070. Nice to get some new blood in there, huh, Lube? Lube and Gurggles? Yeah.
That was nice.
Yeah.
Really appreciate that. So we applaud you, Tom, and you could be coming back for the finals if nobody else manages to make a score here. It's kind of like that Marlins lineup. All right, coming up to the plate here, another guy below the Mendoza line. Here's
exactly.
There's Stallings, the catcher, and he's all for his last 16, but he's showing signs of life here. Joe, what do you think about that?
What a shit show.
I think he got above the Mendoza line yesterday by going 2 for 3.
That's good.
So one noteworthy item out of the world of sports that we alluded to here on the show so far. All right, back in a moment. Now that.
The time.
Straight up 8 o'clock.
Folks, Tony Segreto here. Let me ask you a question. What do you look for when you go out to eat? Good food, obviously, friendly atmosphere, not too loud, but good energy, reasonable prices, and a place where you feel comfortable. All those ingredients, no pun meant there, are hard to find unless you're talking about the Texas Roadhouse. You see, they encompass all of those attributes. Really, really good food, amazing atmosphere, good for a family, good for a date, or just a night out for yourself, and prices that will make you extremely happy. Their ribs unmatched. Steaks hand cut every day. Everything, and I mean everything, is made on site, including their incredible bread. It's the one day, folks, that you can forget about low-carb diets. Trust me when I tell you, Texas Roadhouse, your restaurant, your destination when you say, where should we go and eat tonight?
From the newly renovated sports bar to the beautiful bayside views captured at the Tiki Bar, Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill has it all. Located at mile marker 104, the Big Chill also offers waterfront dining while experiencing breathtaking sunset views of the Florida Keys. It's simply the hottest spot in the Keys to cool off. That's Jimmy Johnson's Big Chill at mile marker 104 in Key Largo. For more information, call today at 305-453-9066.
Francois Lebec. Good morning, Francois.
Listen to me one moment, please. You fat ass. Tired of the way you speak about the Canadians? We are good people. We're here vacationing on the beach. We bring our dollars here, and you're always putting down the Canadians, and me personally am sick and tired of your crap. And you're not losing weight. I saw you the game. You're fat like a pig. The other thing that I would like to say is that you're going to throw out some baseball. I will be there personally to boo you out of the stadium. We come here as good people, friendly people, nice people. We don't need you to speak like you speak, Jeffrey, the fat ass the forest.
The Defo Show, featuring Lubie. We now return to the Defo Show.
Lebec was there that day. Remember, Lubie? You also threw out a ceremonial first ball. I think we both did for a Marlins game in West Palm Beach. Oh, no, they sent you to the wrong stadium. Wasn't that the deal?
I didn't do Marlins. I did Cardinals. Not Cardinals. What is it? The Astros and the Nationals share a park. So I was at the other park. My first pitch.
Yeah, they sent you somewhere, to Orlando to throw out the first pitch.
Yeah,
Lebec was there, man. And I heard him screaming from the stands, "Throw it in the dirt, Defo, you piece of..." Unbelievable. It was like Gurggles, rooting against that guy with the 3 to 5 shots. Like, particularly, dripping, ringing with sarcasm. All right. We have open lines, 954-417-0070. If you'd like to play the game, we'll play a few more before we get to the finals here. We have nobody with a total worthy of being in the postseason here on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Dave Gurggles Gergely about to indulge and engage in our next set of questions. So count us up if you want to play. And here we go with David.
Boxing. This fighter on his relationship with Howard Cosell said, sometimes Howard makes me wish I was a dog and he was a fire plug. What's that? Muhammad Ali, Gene the Dancing Machine, or Gene Rayburn?
Gene the Dancing Machine. Great, huh? Unbelievable. From the Gong Show with the great Barry Langston as the unknown comic. Became a star for that thing. All right, the Scrambler lands on familiar face. Ron, you're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, Ron.
Good morning, guys. Let's go with A.
A is correct. Muhammad Ali. Great quote. What was the other one with Cosell? He said, Howard, I don't know. Howard said, you're being particularly truculent. And he said, I don't know what truculent means, but if it's good, it's me. That was great. All right, 1 point, Ron, going for two.
Baseball, Ron. Baseball, true or false? San Francisco Giants principal owner Charles Johnson recently maxed out a $6,600 donation to Donald Trump's campaign, just as he did in 2018. True or false?
True.
Can't be true.
That's false.
From San Francisco?
He actually switched. He is a staunch Republican. He switched from Trump to Howdy Doody, Ron DeSantis, and donated $6,600 to him. Yep.
Right.
Did he get a free copy of Mein Kampf signed by DeSantis for his generous contribution to the campaign? Let's make America great again. Even greater, right? That's what DeSantis' line is.
That's
All right. You have one going for 4 here, Ron. This puts you in the lead.
All right, on baseball. This past week, 16 years ago, in 2007, my beloved Philadelphia Phillies had the dubious distinction of losing their 10,000th game. What team beat them that day?
All right.
Was it the Braves, the Reds, the Pirates, or the Giants?
Oh boy. Let's go Giants.
Giants.
Yes,
You got it.
well done.
Wow. By the way, Gurggles, do you want to buy these tickets that I purchased for Mustang's friend Cat on the Pittsburgh Pirates to win the World Series?
No.
It took them about 10 minutes to kind of contain their laughter when I placed this wager. Pirates 50 to win the National League pennant, 50 to win the World Series on top of it. I would have booked it for the 100,
God
but I
bless.
would have to pay the woman $15,000 if they somehow miraculously do it.
You did the right thing betting it.
You think? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
short of Mazeroski coming back from the grave, how could the Pirates possibly win the World Series this year?
Elroy Face would be Elroy Face. That'd be my guess.
The original forkball, my friends. All right, where are we at?
We're going for 5
4 going
points.
for 9, right? Yeah, here we go.
Yep. All right, golf. Lee Trevino won back-to-back British Opens in 71 and 72. Who won it in 73 to snap his
Good
streak?
question.
Was it Jack Nicklaus, Gary Player, Johnny Miller, or Tom Weiskopf?
Go Tom Weiskopf.
I'm going to go Tommy with the hat.
Yes.
Oh.
Well done. Yeah.
Ron has, he's onto your game, Dave Gurggles Gergely. I mean, after playing this game for so
Good.
many years, just a brilliant job there. Ron with 9, still wide open to get to the finals. We may have to circle back to Tom or Lenny as well. You can dial us up if you'd like to play. 954-417-0070. 954-417-0070. This is the Polyman Cup that we're contesting here today as they contest the British Open. Your man, Jordan Spieth, who's I did cash on Spieth in the Open that year that he mowed down Matt Kuchar with that ridiculous bogus ruling where they took his ball like out of some pub. It was laying on the bar, and they allowed him to drop it in the middle of the fairway while Kuchar was in some horrible situation, and they gave him no relief whatsoever. Spieth 2 under. But they're all chasing Stuart Sink, who, among the pros is 3 under, along with some guy named Seam, who I never heard of. He's still out on the course. And an amateur, Christo Lamprecht, is in front by 2 strokes at 5 under, and he's already in the clubhouse. An amateur. If you were an amateur and you were leading a major, Gurggles, wouldn't you immediately, go ahead and rescind your amateur status and become a pro? I would turn pro right there on like 13, wouldn't you?
I would probably wait after the second round.
Yeah, I mean, or do you have to? I guess you would have to declare that going in, or he wouldn't have gotten into the tournament, quite possibly. But couldn't you do something? I mean, why would you abdicate the prize money? Has to be like over $1 million, right? Maybe $1.5 million for winning this thing. And you're gonna, go ahead and say, well, you know what? I really want to preserve my amateur status. What is this? The NCAA? You got to be kidding me! All right, next set of questions. Dave Gurggles Gergely.
Okay, golf. This legendary comedian on golfing with a rather erratic president said, well, the last time I played golf with President Ford, he hit a birdie, an eagle, a moose, an elk, and an aardvark. Who's that? Bob Hope, Myron Cope, Edwin Pope, or Ed Wynn?
Yeah, I would never trust the celebrities when they line the the fairway there around the tee box.
Wow.
Never. Yeah, I'm hiding behind a tree. All right, the scrambler rolls on to the name of Mike. Mike, you're on the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Good morning, sir.
Hey, good morning, gentlemen. I'm going to say A for that one.
You would be correct once again.
Well done, Mike. All right, Mike. College hoops. The NCAA came out with a ruling banning jersey numbers 6, 7, 8, and 9 because they didn't want the referees to have to use 2 hands when calling fouls. And so they stopped issuing those jersey numbers. True or false?
I'm gonna say you made that one up, but there it goes.
It's likely true.
No,
It's so
that's true.
far-fetched.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. That is true. Yep.
So what about if it was like number 12?
Yeah, but 15 is two hands.
Yeah.
What is in two hands?
Listen, I just do the questions. You guys do the debates.
I know it's not you, but I don't understand their justification.
Who made that rule?
You don't take questions like this at Landlubber, do you, of the host? So leave me
I'm
alone.
bitter as hell. What are you talking about?
That's a good one. That was along the lines of the fax machine.
See, the reason they don't, Mike, is because they can do 12 and they can do 15. But imagine if they did this and they didn't know whether it was 15 or 6.
Okay.
See what I mean?
Yeah,
Okay. Now let's get
Were
over.
you
the
on
game,
board
will
with
you?
the fax machine being invented by Rocky Marciano, which we declare to be true for a couple of years?
Somebody invented. Wasn't there a boxer that invented like the screwdriver or something? I forget. It was another.
That was
one.
Ingemar Johansson. Yeah,
All right.
right before the Patterson.
Poor
fight.
Mike.
Okay, so we are 2 for 2. Oh, no, he got that wrong. He said that you made that up.
Got it wrong. You got 1 point.
The
three-way tie for second.
Here we go.
All right, golf, Mike. 2 players share the record with the lowest 36-hole score of 130 at the British Open. Nick Faldo and Louis Oosthuizen, Nick Price, Brandon Grace, or Brandt Snedeker.
Snedeker.
Yes.
Well done. Well done.
Nice. All right. We're getting some real hot players here towards the end of the game. Four going for 9. Correct? Yeah, here we go.
All right. Hockey. Which coach came off the bench to play for his team in the Stanley Cup Finals?
Oh.
Was that?
Had to be
Billy
Toe
Ray?
Blake.
That wasn't even one of the choices. No. Billy Ray, Punch Imlach, Lester Patrick, or Roger Nielsen?
Oh, God.
Wow.
Oh, Jesus.
C.
I'm going to say C. Lester Patrick.
That's right. Lester
He was
Patrick.
a goalie, right?
That's what he said.
Did he
Yeah.
come in as an emergency goalie? It's possible.
Good job, Mike. You are in.
Wow.
Well done, Mike.
Dead heat right there at the end. So we're going to pair up Ron
Good.
and Mike. Ron and Mike, 2 expert players. Tom, thanks for joining us for the first time. Appreciate that. You get a consolation prize, which is yet to be determined, and will be delivered at a future date also.
Oh, that's the home game.
Yeah.
So if you give us your address, Paulie and several people will go there when you're out of town, and then you'll see what happens.
And see what kind of a heist that we can come away with. All right, Gurggles Perdomo Cigars, always great to talk about. And I you know what? I love doing this particular spot just to see that picture of you in hog heaven there in the Maldives with a Perdomo cigar and a nice cold beer and, a shipper who wasn't going to bother you for anything beyond what was happening that day.
That was a local product, as a matter of fact.
All right.
And this young lady that was with me there went to Greece, and she said she had a much better time in the Maldives than Greece. And she didn't even smoke Perdomo cigars. Well, you can have a great time with a Perdomo cigar. 305-627-6700 the number to call. 5150 Northwest 167th Street, the place to go. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Any kind of cigar you want. Connecticut wrapper, Maduro wrapper, Churchill, Punch, whatever, Robusta, whatever you like, they got them, and they make them perfect one at a time. So today, why not get a Perdomo cigar and enjoy it for the weekend? Or if you go Saturday and they're closed, not a problem. Any tobacconist worth their salt, even in San Juan, Puerto Rico, or St. Croix in the Virgin Islands, will have Perdomo cigars. But you can get them locally. Put something great in your mouth with a cigar from Perdomo Cigars.
Can you superimpose that picture of Gurggles with the cigar as we pose the final question here, Lubie? Is that possible? Because that's my favorite aspect of this whole hour that we do. All right, if you can't do it, no problem. There it is. There it is. All right.
No problem.
That is the essence of Dave Gurggles Gergely right there. What kind of beer is that, Gurgs?
I think that was a nice cold Modelo Especial.
And it looks perfectly chilled. Now, did you have the mug in the freezer before you poured that beer in it?
Oh, yeah. Well, that was at the little bar right on the Maldives, right on the Indian Ocean.
Yes.
I have a better one with me with a Middleton Irish whiskey, which is an unbelievable beverage as well, and a Perdomo cigar. But either one of them goes great. So you don't have to go to the Maldives. You can go right to Miami Lakes area and get a great Perdomo cigar.
With that honest face, too, and showing the exhilaration that you have, obviously, for life here with that expression. You could sell anything with that. I would think maybe you should contact Pat Fox and talk about getting into some commercials because that's a great picture of you. All right, so here's the way it works. Gurggles is going to fire off a question, guys. You know the rules, but we're obligated to state them by Florida statute, believe it or not. Which has that been changed? Did they throw that out along with the idea that you could read any book that you would like to? Because DeSantis signed like 100 laws and then he ran off to Iowa while we're in the midst of this insurance crisis, right? Nobody can even insure their home anymore. You just ready let it go. Let it go to a Tinder, I would. All right, so he's going to fire off a question. Call out your name if you want to answer right away. If nobody answers right away, we'll offer multiple choice. The first person to call out his name gets first choice, and we go back and forth until we have a winner. Good luck, gentlemen, for the gift certificate to Landlubbers and a chance to meet Mike Lubie Lubitz in person tonight. Here's Dave Gurggles Gergely.
And I would like to emphasize, this is the only program you will see on the air that is not sponsored by Morgan & Morgan. So here we go.
Pretty much it, yeah.
All right.
There's something about the kid that bothers me. I don't know what that is, right? The son. He looks a little seedy to me in the Morgan & Morgan ad. And all of a sudden, they're experts at everything. It's great.
Inbreeding.
Yeah.
It's inbreeding. Okay. Here's your bonus question, guys. And, of course, topical, the British Open.
Sure.
Listen closely. Who receives of the following the Tooting Bec Cup at the end of the British Open? And I'll spell it for you. TOOTINGBEC. Who receives the Tooting Bec Cup at the end of the British Open?
Someone who's really unlucky. I'm going to do a little Johnny Carson on you.
Is it the Karnak? A, is it the PGA player with the lowest single round of the 4 days? B, is it the low amateur over the 4 rounds? C, is it the winning caddy? Or D, is it the player who made the cut by the least amount of strokes and finished the highest afterwards?
Wow.
Which of those receives the coveted
Mike has an answer.
Tooting
Freddie,
Bec
what do you got,
Cup?
Mike?
I say B.
No.
Incorrect. All right.
All right.
3 choices left for
These
Ron.
for Ron. A, is it the player with the single lowest round of the 4 days? Is it C, the winning caddy? Or D, the player who made the cut by the least amount of strokes and then finished the highest of them?
Let's go winning caddy.
Winning caddy.
That's the one I was going to guess. Oh, wrong. Okay.
2 left
No.
for Mike.
That's from Mike.
All right, Mike. Is it the PGA player with the single lowest round of the 4 days? Or is it the player who made the cut by the least amount of strokes and finished the highest afterwards?
A.
Nice.
You got it.
That's it.
Okay. All right.
Yep, the player with the single lowest score of the 4 rounds receives the coveted Tooting Bec Cup.
I was becoming convinced that it was the other one there about the missing the cut, although that's kind of complicated, nearly missing the cut. But it sounds like something these goofy Europeans would, infuse into the tournament to create a little action. And then, of course, you could bet on it on FanDuel. And probably get significant odds. All right, so who do you have to win this thing, Gurggles? You're a golf guy.
I'm rooting for Tommy Fleetwood just because I like the guy.
Fleetwood
I'm
Mac.
just rooting
Okay.
for him.
He's been playing well.
Yep.
I think he was not a super short price, but he might have been in that 14, 15 to 1 category. Could have even been 20 to 1, which wouldn't have been a bad price to catch on this guy. All right, and what do you got going for the weekend here, Gurgs? Horse racing?
Well, actually, our members are on a golf trip with Mike Sterner, a golf pro, out to Big Cedar in Branson, Missouri, at Tiger Woods course,
Wow.
with about 24 members out there. So I will be working Saturday here at the golf course with the regular men's group game on Saturday morning. And being an insomniac, probably like you guys, I'll be up early Saturday and then Sunday watching the British Open. Probably will not make it out to any of the pari-mutuels, although I might sneak out to Hialeah for a quick bet if I like something. But I'll be enjoying the British Open and just taking it easy this weekend.
Is that because of the fiscal situation, or you're just showing great
No.
restraint?
It's just I'll be my job Saturday. I usually don't work Saturday, so I can go and bet. But Saturday I'll be here like 6:30, and till the guys finish and I do all the scoring, it'll be right around noon or 12:30. So I'll just kick back and enjoy the rest of the day watching the TV. But I have one of these TVs where it cuts off one of the bottom corners of the
Always
set.
good, yes.
So sometimes if the camera's wrong, I can't see the hole where they're putting, but that's okay.
Looked
I've
like
done
it
that
went
on the
in. I
course
don't
as
know.
well.
Did you see that one?
And Atlantic City, was Atlantic City successful for you?
For me personally, no, but overall good because the Stang was on fire. A
Oh, good.
rare occasion where no matter what she did, she could do no wrong. So that was good. It wasn't anything monumental. I mean, like the time she took down the 11 grand, but steady couple of days of grinding out like a dime or so. Me, I started out my 72nd year as ice cold as any human being has ever been, Gurggles. I was so happy I
Wow.
ground out like $1.50 profit the other day after being stuck 350 at the track. And
Yep.
I thought, wow, I'm out for life. But then, I got the Powerball results this morning and went right back into depression.
Well, last Saturday, you'll like this one. I always split the pick five, the early pick five at Saratoga with a buddy of mine. And I always add a couple extra horses just in case he doesn't pick some.
Yeah.
So we win the first race with an even money shot. The second leg of it, they scratched one of our horses, but I had another one in there that he didn't have at 5-2. And we beat a chalk. Then the next leg, one of the horses he picked won and paid $48.
Ooh, nice.
So I'm 3 for 3 going into the race with the 1-2 favorite. I'm Italian.
Oh, in Italian, yeah.
In Italian. He gets caught on the wire by Flavian Pret.
I saw that.
And I was alive with 3 horses on the end of the pick five twice.
I could have hit it.
And each would have paid $1,000. Instead, the pick five paid $13,000. And I will never leave that Flavian Pret out on a turf race again.
I mean, you're entitled to curse, for, hours on end in French. I mean, after that, tough beat. Yeah, I saw that in Italian. That was a horse that could not lose. They had one like that later on. Our buddy Big Rich hit that late pick five with Nikki Beach. I think you know Nikki Beach. He used to be at the Bamboo Beach Tiki Bar as a general manager. And
I know Nikki. Yeah.
They split like 23 grand on the late pick
Oh,
five on
great.
Saturday.
That's
Yeah,
great.
Nikki actually liked that one horse that paid 90 something bucks, and next thing you know, they're cashing tickets on that race and all around it, and pick threes
God
and
bless 'em.
fours and fives, and it was one of those things where you had everything. It was just a beautiful thing. And
Mike, good luck tonight.
Yeah, and you won't be there, huh, Gurgs? No.
Probably not. I got physical therapy at 2:00, and I might just chill. If I get out there, I'll get out there just to jinx Lenny. But other than that,
All right, well, get that third shot, man, and see if it
doesn't
does some good. Also,
You got it, guys. See
get
you
a
later.
supplement called glucosamine. Are you familiar with that, Lubie?
I've heard the term, but I think it's from you.
Loosens up joints a little bit. I don't know. I mean, I've been taking it and I haven't had any problems. So I'm assuming it has some benefit. I don't know. The one that scares me is that guy, that seedy looking guy that's always on TV with the infomercial at 4 a.m, the omega-3 guy. Have you seen him? I think it's Omega XL is his product. And he's been on TV forever. I thought I saw him at some event here in Fort Lauderdale that I was attending. I thought, wow, it's him. Right? But is he the Ron Popeil of supplements? No, Popeil had some credibility compared to this guy. Appears to be, like I would peg him more to be a loan shark than I would be to some scientist. What do they? Have you seen that ad? Omega XL, and they're giving you like a huge bargain. He supposedly, farms out some muscles, in some bizarre, unreachable region off the Australian shores or whatever, New Zealand, and You take a couple of these, and it's like you just visited Benny Hinn, and he hit you in the forehead. All of a sudden, crutches go flying. You're kicking field goals for the Giants all over again. I don't know. That might work. Does it work? Those omegas?
I don't know. I'm always weird about any of these pills.
Yeah. I mean, has anybody noticed any perceivable difference in their life by taking all of these supplements?
Shirley's doing one of these fucking shots, and she's lost 5 pounds, so I guess it works. I don't know.
That's that Ozempic thing, man. But that's crazy. That's lunacy to try to lose weight like
doing,
that.
I think, an offshoot, something called Wegovy, or I don't know. And it's a shot every week, and it has suppressed her appetite. And
How about just eating less? Yeah, wouldn't that?
I was gonna say, like, can't you just?
Or as they say, try a salad. Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not judging. I've learned to leave her alone. It's her body, her choice.
You can't talk to a woman about any of this stuff.
She just,
when it comes to her own personal physicality.
Just gives me shit. So it's like,
yeah. Make no mention of anything, not even your observation that, hey, look, looks like you might have put on a few, huh?
Oh, no, that you can't do that.
I mean, the worst question to have to answer besides who's she is, do I look fat in this outfit?
Yes. Oh my God, Jesus. Because but the
What?
problem is surely is like if
It's like, what do you want? You want the truth? Yeah, you look
that's
like an
it,
overstuffed pig here.
if you say you look great and then they go out and then later they look at themselves in a mirror like at an event,
Yeah.
they'll get mad at you for letting them go out that way. But if you beforehand say, that's
Why don't you try to burlap back?
that's not either. That doesn't
You look
go-
better in that.
Fuck.
Makes you look slim. Wear something black.
No, I
There's
think
no good answer to that question. You're right. I mean, these are questions. So we should make a list of this. Questions that you get from women that there is no good answer to. Number one on the list, of course, is who's she? Because if you say, nobody, just somebody I knew like years ago, it's like, well,
what do you mean? Early on, we were dating. I did that with a girl that I was literally on a work event. I was covering something for the news department because they're always shorthanded, and this girl was,
and they leaned on you because they didn't have to pay.
The Latin station,
right.
And I was literally working like it was a work thing. It was straight up working. I was doing hits,
right.
610, like it was straight work, and I was like, we were helping each other out, and Shirley's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, okay, this feels like it's going down.
I go Trump. I'm innocent, man.
I said she's.
Why aren't you talking to Hillary Clinton about the emails?
I think I said she's a buddy, like trying to, because I knew where I was going. I'm a veteran by that point. Like I'm divorced. Like I know what that question means. We've talked about who she.
Well, you've been with women before.
Yeah, so I'm divorced, so I know how things can go wrong. So I was like, I said, okay, just what word can I use that would deflame it? And I think I said a buddy. She's like, a buddy? Oh, is that a word for
friends with benefits? Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God.
No, they can take it and extrapolate it into anything that makes you just inherently evil.
A 30-minute fight, and I'm like, I was at work.
Nothing, right? Yeah. Maybe Donnie is innocent of all of these charges. Maybe he is being victimized. Here we are talking about our own victimization or whatever that would be.
I mean, it's whatever.
But there's no good answer to that. Who's she? It never works. And then, do I look fat in this outfit? Does this outfit make me look fat?
See, I just always go with you look great, and then if she doesn't like how she looks, that's on her. You're not getting mad.
It's going to be another one of my new self-help books. I had Face Down in the Gutter come out the other day.
yes.
And that's going to be my next one. My relationship book. Do I look fat in this outfit? Does this outfit make me look fat?
That's it. It's this outfit.
I want to put that up today. See what kind of response I get.
I like the guys that are assholes. They're like, no, you make you look fat. It's not the outfit.
You are fat.
The outfit's fine. It's you.
Fuck. Why do we even get into this stuff, Louis? Women's World Cup. There were 6 pages I felt from my man Jim Sarney.
He's into it.
I perused right over them in yesterday's New York Post. 6 pages of preview on a Women's World Cup. I'm still baffled by the idea that anybody would even post a line of minus 40,000 on a game of any type, no matter how large of a mismatch it loomed to be. And why is this happening? How did this Vietnam team qualify if they're 40,000 to 1 underdogs? I guess it's 4,000 to 1 because it's 40,000 to win 100. But they're 4,000 to 1 underdogs. Would that be 4,000 or 400 to 1? It's 400 to 1, right? That's the actual price. Okay, if you're minus 40,000, are you a 400 to 1 shot to win $100? Yeah, that's what it would be. Add a couple of zeros, and that's what you got. So anyway, they're 400 to 1 underdogs in this game. That's 400 to 1, not 4 to 1, 400 to 1.
That's Vietnam.
Vietnam. Are you obligated to just take a chance there and hope that Megan Rapinoe bumps one in off her rear end and is cursing at the goalie for letting it go by?
I think the U.S. will win handily. I wouldn't touch that at all. I wouldn't go near that. Either way, I mean, I think you're surefire to win with U.S., but again, the odds are so stupid. It's not worth it.
All right, another topic we've been exploring in strictly hypothetical fashion because it is of some interest in that philosophical regard. All right. And that's a nice way of saying we're going to talk about something and speculate on something that we know nothing about and have no idea what the outcome is actually going to be. But the whole messy thing with the MLS, does this have any kind of indication as to this result from last night in an all-star game. MLS All-Stars versus Arsenal. Arsenal, I guess, would be what? One of the fabled teams out
They're
of
one
the
of the
top
great-
European league?
They're Premier League teams and one in England.
Premier League team. Okay,
Which
so
is the best league
they're up there.
The EPL is considered the best league in the world. Arsenal's one of their better teams.
All right, well, what does this mean to you in terms of the whole Messi situation?
Okay.
Arsenal 5, MLS All-Stars.
Yeah.
Now, you could make the excuse right away if you're with the Republican Party. Well, the other All-Stars, they don't really play together that much, so they didn't have a whole lot of chemistry out there. And, of course, Arsenal, a well-oiled machine. That every player knows his role, and the coach knows exactly how to use everybody. That they would naturally have a huge advantage by being a team versus an all-star team. 5-0 though, Lubie. Does that mean that the MLS ain't shit?
Yes, MLS
compared
sucks.
to what Messi's used to.
100%. Yes, we're all aware. MLS sucks.
They get destroyed. 5-0 in a soccer game is the equivalent of 50-0 in a football game. End of the first half. 5-0. How often do you see 5-0 results in soccer games? You might see 5-0 USA versus. Well, no, the women's team will go ahead and run it up. I mean, they are Arab Precision squared. Just run it right up there, right? And then cry about it later on. Oh, can you believe that? They kept scoring on us. Although they're good enough, I guess, to not have to be concerned with some team running it up on them. I'm. Could you be rooting for Vietnam in this spot?
No.
That's hard to say, man, being a child of the 60s. My God.
I mean, Ken hated Hope Solo so much that at one point he did sort of root for Japan in one of the finals.
Yeah, I mean, wow.
I mean, he hated Hope Solo.
I'm tempted to lay 20 on Vietnam at 400-1.
I just don't see him winning. You can. You'd make a nice score. Good for you.
You imagine? $10 gets you $4,000.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Well, you're not getting that price on them. You have to lay the 40,000 to win 100 on the USA. So you're probably getting what, 200-1 on Vietnam?
Something like that.
This is the only reason that this Women's World Cup is of any interest to me. Outside of, I mean, it'd be great. Look, I'm a red-blooded American through and through. I root for the American teams in international competitions, and I hope the women come away with whatever the cup is. I guess it is the World Cup. Is the trophy as dumb looking as the actual World Cup trophy for the men?
Probably not better.
I don't want to say it's the actual World Cup trophy. Sorry, I'll get real finicky about that. Well, why is it actual for the men, but it's not really, authentic for the women?
The World Cup is stupid.
You misogynist pig.
I don't give a shit about the Women's World Cup.
I mean, it seems to, be creating, more intrigue in the U.S. than the men's team does. That's for sure, because we have a shot to win, no? Favored to win this thing. We'll see. All right, we're coming back with more, but that's our soccer dissertation for today. Yeah. Arsenal 5, MLS All-Stars 0.0, Mr. Blutarski.
Yeah.
You're a complete inept fool. And now Messi's going to come into the league on Friday and play his first game with the Inter Miami CF.
Yes, supposed to.
Lionel Messi. I mean, think about this. It's crazy. I think it's pure lunacy. What is this guy doing on this scrub team? It would be like, if Wilt Chamberlain, instead of going with the Globetrotters, had signed with the Washington Generals. Right? And just was destined to lose every game. It doesn't matter. I mean, maybe he could smoke Meadowlark Lemon one-on-one, but, the Lemon Man's going to do his thing with the ball and a rubber band and this and that and the confetti in the crowd. And, he's gonna score 40 on Wilt. It's crazy. Should this guy not score at least 3 goals a game? If he doesn't average 3 goals a game, I think it's a bust.
Well, especially with Busquets joining him, another world-renowned player, and then that Jordi.
But he's also 50 years old.
They're all old, but again, if you're old in the worst league ever, it's like, look, you could be an old fart, but if you're playing in a rec league, I'm telling you right now, Ray Allen at 50 is still going to go fucking light up a rec league. You can be old unless you're crippled. Like Dan Marino goes and plays intramural football. Dan Marino's going to fucking light him up right now. That's what the MLS is compared to where these guys were.
In other words, Messi may as well be running around at Hialeah High School on the field with a bunch of guys that are in a pickup game on Saturday.
I don't know if it's that far, but it's definitely for him. That's what it is compared to some of these other that's what the MLS is. They should have not, especially that he's going to have guys that he's played with before and that were also of not his renown, but a top 20-ish player right now. Busquets, Alba, and they may get to Suarez. If they can get those 4 guys together, yes, they should fucking annihilate teams. It should not even be fair. Like 100%.
Oh, yeah, no, if he doesn't get 3 goals in his first game, I'm
It's gonna
thinking
be a joke. Honestly, like
the whole league waits
this
money.
is some tournament, so I don't know if they're playing better competition in this Fakakta tournament. I don't know if they're playing like countries. I don't know, or all-star teams. I don't know how this fucking tournament works. Like this tournament isn't the MLS, so I don't know how to gauge Friday. But yes, when he goes against MLS, like the Galaxy, he should fucking ruin them. Like it should be a fucking joke. Honestly, it should.
You went Pesci on this particular.
I mean, that's the point. Will he? I don't know if he
diatribe,
will.
yeah.
I really don't know if he will. I'm just saying the idea from where he was playing to now is.
But listen to the passion with which you're speaking about this.
That's whatever. I don't really care about anything. I'm just.
It'd be a joke though if he played like 5 games and you hadn't scored a goal yet. Maybe you had like one of those chicken shit assists, that you get because the ball bounced off the back of your head and it happened to then hit some guy and off his kneecap it went in while the goalie was falling down, reacting to a maneuver that really had no chance to be an effective shot on goal. And he was already laying down in the corner over here, and the goal is so big that you couldn't miss it. And then he gets an assist. Well, what if that's the deal? Well, we'll see.
What's the PK thing? I'm curious if any time.
Oh, he'll get a penalty kick on everything.
Well,
there won't be a single time he doesn't get a call.
That's the one because the professor won't let that go.
They'll have to invent a new card. There'll be yellow, red, and Messi card.
Pink. It's like a pink card because they're wearing those Fakakta pink.
Don't mess with Messi. Yeah, pink card would be very appropriate. Put a little pink tutu on the referee, and he's going to be running around there going, "Oh, let's get Lionel a penalty kick."
That'd be great if he has like.
And his penalty kicks blow. I mean, that's the funniest part about it. He's so feared. Is it better to be loved or feared? Is always the question, is it not?
See,
He's so feared that the guy falls down. He dives to the right, and Messi hasn't even come up to the ball yet. He hasn't even lined up.
See, I liked him. Ken makes fun of him like you do. I think it's exactly what you've been
Dribbler
calling.
up the middle. Are you kidding me? You could do that.
You've been calling for it for years. You're like, why do they never stay in the middle? Why don't they just kick it down the middle? So Messi's like, he does like a little juke. They fly. And he's like, okay.
He doesn't even kick it hard. He rolls it in there like, he was Don Carter, man.
100%.
Unbelievable. And that's that's the best guy in the world. I don't know. I think it's a scam, all of it. I really do. Messi, I don't even know. Does he have any ability? Or is it all just, a fraud?
He's fucking amazing.
They've perpetrated a complete hoax
He's amazing.
on the international soccer world. And this guy actually sucks. Well, we'll find out. Maybe that's why he ran to the MLS. He realized the jig was up, so to speak. All right. We're coming back with more in a moment here. And Marlins losers again. That's 6 in a row. That's such ugliness at this point. And I don't know. Am I losing faith, Lubie? I believe.
I've lost faith. I
believe it's drifting away very quickly here, evaporating. So they'll probably come back and win 10 games on the next homestand.
Their bullpen was saving their ass, and it's back to being the rotation's been okay. Alcantara sucked again, which is annoying. But
3-run homer in the first inning, 4 runs again in the first inning. He can't get out of the first couple of innings without giving up, multiple runs.
He can't get settled in, and then their offense is in. I mean, I guess 4 runs is okay, but
bunch of 260 punch and Judy hitters.
That's like an offensive outburst when they get 4 runs. Like you can't in this day and age. It's not going to work. So I mean, look, they're what people like me thought they were, and I think that's sort of what's happening. They may not be a horrible team, but they're not the team that was 14 games over 500, challenging for the second best record in the league. They're just not that team.
I wanted to scream when I saw those very low, modest projections for their seasonal total of wins when they were 14 games over 500 just 6 games ago. And the projections on that CBS Sports line, whatever analytics and numerology they're using, had the Marlins only winning like in the mid-80s in terms of games for the season. And I thought, geez, what are you talking about? I mean, if you do the math and they double up on this, they're going to end up with like 90 wins. But so far, I mean, nothing coming out of the chute. St. Louis 6, Miami 4. You could make the case. Baltimore had been red hot. But what we're doing now, Lubie, with the Marlins baseball team is extending winning streaks for teams that, for one reason or another, whether they were desperate like St. Louis is to get back into things in a weak division, or they were the Baltimore Orioles, who, by the way, Lubie, how bizarre of a story is this in Major League Baseball? The Orioles are now tied for the lead with the Tampa Bay Rays atop the American League East. Yankees in last place, Mr. Cashman.
It's like the first time in like 30 years they've been in last place.
Our friend Joe Casal says nobody's ever accountable with the Yankees, that the organization itself, since George checked out, that Hal Steinbrenner and the upper-level management, which is Cashman, and you would have to, I guess, include Aaron Boone in there, which Boone kind of looks like, he just looks like a twerp, huh? I mean, I know he had significant moments as a player, but he's spitting out these sunflower seeds yesterday while the team is losing, and you're thinking, what I don't know what the guy could do at that moment, but he just looked like he didn't belong in a dugout, right?
I mean, he literally got the job from being a commentator, right? Like he never did any kind of coaching at all, and then he's been bad the whole time. So I don't understand why he's been able to keep the job when he got it in weird false pretenses and has been bad then too. Like I don't understand why he what are they keeping him for? I don't get it. What is their thing?
Yeah, I mean, Casal says there's no accountability. That's his theory. With especially the upper level management of the New York Yankees, that Boone shrugs off bonehead plays and obvious errors of omission and lack of hustle and guys standing and posing at home plate and watching what potentially could be doubles or triples turn into singles and setting up a more precarious situation, a less advantageous situation on the base paths, regardless of the number of outs or whether or not the ball went out of the park. And that they never hold anybody's feet to the fire. And, what do you say to this, Mr. Cashman? I mean, wouldn't at some point Hal Steinbrenner walk into Cashman's office and say, last place? I mean, it's supposed to have this monster team this year, right? They made additions in the offseason. Now, it didn't work out. That guy, Rodon, who was a dynamite pitcher, with the White Sox? And he hasn't been able to do much. He was injured, and I guess he just recently came back, and they were happy. He gave up only 5 runs in 3 innings. It's like, whoa, look at that, man. He's ready to make a big move. Here we go. We're surging. Without Aaron Judge on the field, their lineup is a Marlins lineup.
Oh, yeah.
You agree with that? I mean, the Marlins might have a better lineup than the Yankees do without Aaron Judge in the batting order.
Sucks. I don't understand it because everyone's making ridiculous amounts of money, but they've all forgot how to play baseball. It's fucking weird.
Right. I mean, you can't win necessarily with a bunch of 260 hitters. I mean, and those are your top guys.
That's the thing.
So, anyway, it's interesting. Last, but no accountability, right? I mean, it's never – do you ever see Cashman? I mean, here's the most cynical, questioning sports section that you could possibly find when it comes to New York media, the New York Post, right? They're not really sensationalistic in the sports section so much. They actually have some really – intelligent writers in terms of their approach. What would you say? I mean, having talked to any number of guys here from the
years, yeah, for sure. I mean, Vaquero, Robbins, they've had some of the greatest writers ever. I don't read it now. I don't know who the hell they're
They do a good job, though. I mean, pretty thorough coverage. Like I said, 6 pages. I mean, if you were interested in the Women's World Cup, 6 pages of World Cup preview, and you would have known a little bit about. I mean, they gave you a nice little clip about each girl or each woman on the team. It was great. They're right now infatuated, as you might imagine, in New York City with the whole Aaron Rodgers to the Jets thing. And would it be weird if Rodgers turned an ankle in practice and that was it?
It would be wonderful if Rodgers never actually played it. It was like
Dolphin fans would be rooting for that, right? That Rodgers never sets foot on the field during the regular season.
So he can play. I just think it's been made this big fucking thing that if he never played, it would be classic. I think it'd be funny.
How could it not make a huge difference, though, in the way the Jets
perform this year? I just don't know what he is. Like, that's my thing is, like, we just don't know what he is. He's better.
He was good last year. Once he got going, I mean, he got off to kind of a so-so start as the Green Bay Packers did. And, you could sense that this guy who is inclined to, you would have to think, very dark moods when it came to his approach. That he was just sullen, that he was sulking and, just didn't really care. And then in the second half of the season, including a stomping of the Miami Dolphins here in South Florida, Rodgers was looking real sharp until that very last game that they lost to the Detroit Lions.
Yes.
when they had a chance to go to the
He plays
postseason.
fine. It's just at some point, like, he doesn't know these receivers. We know how he's weird about practicing. We'll see. I don't know.
He's Mr. Enthusiasm right now, Libby. I mean, I don't get HBO anymore with this new setup that we have. But so I won't be able to see Hard Knocks. But look at this, Libby. I mean, there's euphoria over this. It's real.
Yeah, we'll see.
And there's a big picture of Aaron Rodgers on the back page of the New York Post. Full blown color and everything. They are genuinely excited. Now the other side of the coin there, on the other side of town, they're very bummed out about Saquon Barkley. Now is saying things that make you think that's going to get ugly. No.
Look, of all the teams that need their running back, it's them. Daniel Jones sucks. Like, I'm fine. Daniel Jones is average because I throw the sucks word around a lot.
And the guy is coming off a 1,300-yard season.
It's really all Saquon. Like, Saquon allows Barkley to throw 14 passes a game and look like he's good, even though he does nothing. So they actually do need Barkley desperately, but I still wouldn't pay him. Like, you can't, and it sucks. It's why I think the running back, Derrick Henry said it. Derrick Henry's like, then we should just get rid of the position. You should. I'm a running back, I want to be called a receiver because most running backs nowadays catch the ball and do all the things receivers do. Okay, so call me your fucking receiver. Whatever makes you feel better.
Because I don't know. You can take every running back and make him into a receiver.
I don't know. I just know they're getting jobbed, but I'm not going to lie. I wouldn't pay him. Like, it doesn't behoove you to pay a guy. They give you 1 or 2 years. You give him a 5-year deal. They give you 2 years. And so what do you do with the rest of it?
His issue didn't seem unreasonable, though, which was that he wanted, this was according to the New York Post story, that Barkley wanted $22 million or whatever guaranteed for 2 years. That the Giants had offered him $16 million. Now, the reason he came up with this $22 million, or what was it, 22.8 or 21.8, what was that? It was the 2 years of the franchise tag, and he wanted them to guarantee that if they were going to do that to him, that they just guaranteed the money that they were going to be obligated to pay him if indeed he operated under the franchise tag for 2 years. You can understand the Giants' reluctance to go ahead and make that guarantee, but they were close to guaranteeing him that anyway. Supposedly with an offer that they made to him last year, which he turned down. I don't know. I mean, look, he has an injury history. He was out for what, an entire season? And so, I mean, the Giants being reluctant to go ahead and guarantee that second year of the franchise tag, you can understand that in full. But, I mean, this was going to be part of a longer-term deal. And so now he feels like he's been jilted by the team that he helped carry last year to whatever glory they were able to achieve. Which, they won a playoff game, didn't they? Did they make it to the second round, the Giants last year? Lubie?
Yes, they won a first-round playoff game.
And they lost to the Eagles, right?
They played the fucking Vikings, who really weren't a playoff team. They just built up a good record playing shit.
The coach became the coach of the year, Brian Daboll.
Yes, they did win a playoff game in large part to Saquon Barkley.
Okay, so everybody made up Barkley, essentially, is what this guy's
and
probably
Jones
thinking.
got a huge deal, even though he's really
$40 million a year deal. All right, well, you can't, get too uppity about that because a quarterback is always going to make more money. I mean, the answer there would be learn how to throw the football, Saquon, and you'll be okay. And it's ridiculous of a disparity. I mean, who's more important to the New York Giants? I mean, with the given that the quarterback position is always going to be of the highest importance. But that being said, is Barkley more significant to the Giants' success this year, potential success, than Daniel Jones? I sound like I'm doing one of those debate shows.
We're doing an NFL.
What does Stephen A. Smith think?
Yeah, I mean, yes, he 100% is. Daniel Jones is.
Who can we bring in? And I mean, who's left at ESPN?
I don't know. Stephen A.
Bruschi, Teddy. They didn't touch Teddy Bruschi, man. He's got the good television hair. You notice that? Hasselbeck, no hair, out. Bruschi, perfect hair. Looks like who's the guy that played in Superman on TV, on the TV series? The hell's the guy's name? I'm blanking on it. He looks just like him, though, doesn't he? He looks just like the guy that I can't think of his name. You're not helping me, Lubie, at all. All right, we're coming back with more in a moment here. Now that it'll come to me, Lubie. See, Alzheimer's kicking in. It's 8:49. Ponies in Style at Champions, the outstanding simulcasting room at beautiful Hialeah Park. Yes, the grand old lady of thoroughbred racing has never been more vibrant, and you can wager on the races from the top tracks around the country while enjoying a cocktail at the Brass Rail Bar or any of the fine food served throughout the facility. If poker is your game, you're covered in style, and you can play all your favorite Vegas-style games, including blackjack, craps, and roulette, in Hialeah Park's sizzling hot casino. Get a player's card when you walk through the door for all kinds of generous amenities, including our favorite, free play, when you come out to the ultimate casino and entertainment destination, Hialeah Park.
These days, we're all looking for comfort anywhere we can find it. Thank goodness for Landlubbers Raw Bar and Grill in Plantation, because they are making sure you are as comfortable as possible. First of all, they're not only open for delivery and pickup. All you have to do is go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both pickup and free delivery. You're going to have the best wings in the world. You're going to have a great burger. You're going to have their amazing soups. Again, Landlubbers, Raw Bar, and Grill. It's nice and easy. Just go to landlubbersbarandgrill.com for both your pickup and free delivery. Thank goodness for Landlubbers for making you always feel right at home.
Are you looking to buy your first home? Have you been turned down for a loan? Do you need to refinance or get money out of your home? Call Michael Kodzie, CEO of Choice Mortgage. He's been helping the South Florida community get mortgages for 30 years.
Hi, this is Michael Kodzie, CEO of Choice Mortgage. We have the most competitive fixed rates in the market. Call me 24/7, 561-441-2730. And remember, I don't just work banking hours. To make the right choice for your home, call Choice Mortgage today.
The winner to organize the 2022 FIFA World Cup is Qatar.
We now return to the Defo Show right here on 9.
All right, welcome back to the show. Jeff DeForest, we got Mike Lubitz here. Later on today, the Mike Mayo Lunchbox Tour continues. That was fabulous yesterday, by the way. You guys looking for a restaurant recommendation, whether you're viewing this from out of town or if you happen to be in the area here. Frank Tallarico, man, he hit a home run yesterday. He has before with me many, many times. The guy is really incredible because he's so low-key and down to earth, Lubie. Have you noticed that about Frank over the years? He hasn't changed. Success has not changed this man one bit. He's the same guy he was when, the guys from Buffalo were in town and saying, hey, Frankie, the hotel's not producing the kind of revenue we were expecting. You got an answer for that? And you would see Frank get on his cell phone, and making some concerned call, no doubt to a guy that might be able to provide a swift infusion of cash into the business so he could take care of certain obligations. But he turned this thing from a mess. Like, was this hotel in, like, foreclosure or something when he got it? Ocean Manor Hotel? I think it was. I mean, it was, just a decrepit, rundown place. And he's turned it into one of the premier resort destinations here in South Florida. Just a great place because you can get anything you want at Alice's Restaurant. And his restaurant inside the hotel, Casa Calabria, Italian. You have to be careful, Lubie, and be careful today if the subject comes up about yesterday's lunch at Casa Calabria, which they're not open for lunch, so they put on a little special presentation so we could do the show there in conjunction with its usual time slot there of 12 o'clock. Although Mike Mayo's dinner hour, see, that would be the way to do it. Never mind adding more time to this show. Just start going to places for dinner every night. We could eat free the rest of our lives. It would be fantastic.
Honestly.
But that was some show. And Frank Tallarico, be careful using the word authentic around Mayo. You notice, I mean, he bristles.
Wrong. They use authentic for fake. They're like, it's authentic New York Chinese. That's okay. You can't have authentic because authentic Chinese surely was there. It's not like New York Chinese. It's fucking
no. It's correct. New York Chinese. That's what they're looking for here in South Florida.
Is an offshoot. So how do you have authentic offshoot? Like that's sort of.
Don't you come close though? I mean, you go to Chinese restaurants. I don't know. Maybe it's because I've been here so long and out of New York and haven't had Chinese food there forever. But I mean, is there that big of a discrepancy? Lubie, I mean, in Chinese food, New York City to here, New Yorkers would be, absolutely, outraged that we would suggest that for a second.
Well, it's because you always say the thing you like. It's just like people debate Michael Jordan will never be touched. That's not true. I mean,
Yeah.
great players will come and they'll be as good, if not better than Jordan. It's how things work. People grow and improve and evolve, but we get stuck. Like Bill Russell to Visser Mama. No one ever better than Bill Russell. I mean, that's a load of garbage. Bill Russell was not the greatest player ever. He's not even in the argument. Like Kareem and Wilt are better all-around players than Bill Russell was. He's the best winner. That's fine.
Picture Kareem taking the sky hook versus Russell, like sort of hunched over, throwing that left-handed brick up there.
I'm not trying to get into a debate. I'm just saying, like, we get locked into these ideas from like our growing up age to where nothing can surpass it. So that's what the hot dog and the Chinese and even the pizza. I've had as good pizza here as I ever had in New York. I have. I mean, the same fucking thing. It's pizza, the sauce, the cheese. Like, but we get locked into our opinions, and that's fine. The word authentic, though, it's like authentic Greek. Okay, you can't get that in Chicago. Like authentic means it came from Greece. Authentic Italian, it came from Italy. Like authentic New York Chinese is sort of like irrational. Like it doesn't make sense. Authentic from a fake, like that's fucking weird to say that. Like that's what Mayo's point is.
You could say that you prefer the Chinese food in New York to what's available here in South Florida, but as to whether or not it's authentic, now we're getting into semantics here.
That's weird.
But just don't use this word around Mayo, and yet you would have to say that authentic was applicable to Frankie's recipes from Calabria. At the Casa Calabria.
Well, it's the definition of authentic. His grandmother and mother were from the Calabria region, made the food in Calabria.
And he gets a lot of the ingredients, imported from Italy.
He came here, used the same recipes, and then the same ingredients.
When he runs out of Regana cheese.
Oh, he gets it straight from Italy. And then his chef is Italian. So it's literally authentic Italian. It's the definition of authentic.
That guy had a diverse background, too, man. He was all over Europe. He was all over the States. A lot of good restaurants. And you could taste, the pride they take virtually in every dish and every bite. That was fantastic yesterday. So today, with Mike Mayo's Lunchbox, we'll be at the Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. And you're saying, hey, you finally made it, Defo. You're going to do a remote from a chicken farm. Now, I don't know how that compares with our midnight remotes from Porky's in Hialeah. But it doesn't, because the Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market is like the greatest place, I think, to purchase anything that you're looking for in terms of, fresh poultry, meats, seafood. And there's such terrific people. And it's real old school the way they operate. You talk about like kind of having an authentic, I don't know that it's a New York feel, but it does feel like an operation in New York where the people that work the counter are super efficient, and there are plenty of them.
It just feels
you're not at Publix, which I love this old guy dearly, man, but he's the only guy working the deli at like 8 o'clock on a Sunday night when I go in there to buy my dogs. You'll find this surprising, Lubie, although you might experience this with this new dog that you have.
Pup, yeah.
Well, what is the name of the dog?
I like Wolf. We're calling him Wolf.
Wolf, okay.
Wolf.
All right, well, maybe Wolf will get to this stage where Holly and Skippy both can differentiate between Publix cold cuts and Boar's Head. And they're bored with Publix. Like you try to whip out a bag out of the refrigerator, like it's just, you saw that the ham was on sale or something, and it was like $6.99 as compared to like $13.99. So you said, well, I'm going to be giving the majority of this to the dog anyway.
Yes, it's a fucking dog. I'm sorry, but it's a dog. It's okay to say that.
And they both look up at me like, you're going to try to pull this shit off on us again?
It's like McDonald's versus like a Landlubber's burger or something.
Yeah.
Like, dude, I know.
Skippy and Holly become indignant. They look at me and they go, you insufferable fat fool. Just to save money, why don't you stop gambling? I'm like, you're dogs.
The fact you're getting meat, that's the thing. Like,
we had, we put them up with a lady who's very good, very professional at boarding dogs and taking care of them. She does a great job.
Yeah.
And they're very, for the most part, they're happy there. Holly's kind of sullen. She doesn't appear to be happy anywhere, except when she's laying under your armpit. That is the one time that she's happy, which she does significantly. And Skippy, you know how Skippy was. I mean, he was sort of half out of his mind when we got him. And it took a while for him to make the adjustments that he's made now, but he's also, I think, bordering on 15 years old, somewhere in that neighborhood. So he's getting up there. He can't hear anymore. Every time I say something like, Skippy, you want to go for a walk? He goes, huh? But yeah, they were being boarded there at this woman Tanya's house. She has a great place for them too, giant backyard, and they all have fun. And she has other dogs there, and Skippy mingles very well with them when he's there. But he hates any other dog that he sees on a walk. I mean, all of a sudden becomes Cujo. It's crazy, man. I mean, I literally have to make sure that I got a good grip. I have a good grip on the leash, otherwise, we're looking at Hagler Hearns. Canine style. But the lady actually had to run out to Publix because they wouldn't even touch their food unless they had some cold cuts sprinkled on the top there.
Oh my God, you guys have spoiled the crap out of them.
No, and it's all on me, right? Because Mustang is much more of
judicious,
Gestapo on that type of stuff. Like they have little stomachs. You're going to give them all that? And I'm like, yeah, pretty much. I mean,
he's like 20.
They had me. Hello. All right, the Open's heating up here, and some of the names that you would expect to see atop the leaderboard are right there, Mike Lubie Lubitz, including Tommy Fleetwood Mac, now only trailing the amateur, who is Christo Lamprecht, which I don't know, where is he from? Christo Lamprecht.
I've never heard the name in my life until this morning.
What is RSA? What is RSA? That's not Russia. They don't put up the Russian
Russia.
things.
It's got to be Russia.
Russia?
That's not Russia. What's RSA?
I really need to, get into studying flag recognition. I'm going to watch tennis and golf, right? Can you figure out what country these guys are from by looking at the flag, Lubie? I can identify a couple.
No.
Not
I
too many.
think that's Russia. It's the blue and the red. Isn't that Russia?
Is that Russia? All right. Tommy Fleetwood, though, is now the high professional at 4 under par, and he's only through 15, and I think there's like a real easy hole that he's either coming up to.
I don't know what the fuck, how RSA becomes South Africa, but
Republic of South Africa? Is that it? I don't know.
Good job by you. Yeah, he's South African, so that must be it.
Stuart Sink is in there at 3 under, the Sinkster. And then you have Jordan Spieth creeping up the leaderboard here. Well, he's actually finished with his round. He shot a 69 and 2 under par. He is 2 off the pace of Tommy Fleetwood currently. Jordan Spieth, who is usually a factor in these events. I think Spieth had made some phenomenal number of cuts at the British Open.
Not good for him.
Yeah, so he plays this kind of stuff very well. Although Fleetwood right now on a par 4 is 182 yards away from the hole and hitting out of a little bit of that thatch. Doesn't look too bad though. Did they motor rough? What the? This is horrendous.
Well, we've never seen.
They've ruined my favorite tournament with ideal conditions.
They're playing at like some San Francisco golf course.
They're bringing Royal Liverpool to its proverbial knees, Lubie. Nobody's in any sand traps. Nobody's anywhere off the fairway. I mean, what the hell is this? All right, let's see where this Fleetwood shot goes, and then we'll exit the airwaves here. A little golf play-by-play right on the green. And, maybe 15 yards past, 25 feet past the cup. 15 yards? That'll be a long one.
That's a lot.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you later on. Mike Mayo's Lunchbox from Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market. If you're in the market for any kind of stuff like that, you're having barbecues coming up over the weekend, not too soon to get your stuff. Yep. And they have, really marvelous steaks and selections there, freshest of seafood. I think we're going to have some kind of seafood festival going on there.
Yes, summer.
And they have fed us like we're going in a proverbial chair.
Yes.
It's been, Whitey, pull the switch. Every time we go there. I mean, you're thinking, I'll never eat again. That's the only way to work this off.
I usually don't. Like the rest of my day after these meals.
Yeah, I don't eat too much after
small meals. Like I had 3 chicken wings and I had like a half a sandwich and like a half a cookie the rest of the day. Mayo went out.
Yeah, he goes on to a lavish dinner.
A bigger meal. I think his dinner was actually bigger than what we had.
Yes.
At Casa Calabria. We ate a lot of Casa Calabria.
I don't know how he does it. I really don't.
I'm like, where the fuck?
He's approaching that time of life there where, you have to start making some decisions.
You would think.
About how long you want to be here. No, I don't mean to, put a number on that. I don't think he's blinking on the board. He's in pretty good health for a guy that eats that amount of food.
Just to have big meals like that constantly throughout.
And be a hypochondriac on top of that, a Jewish hypochondriac. I mean, you would think just the Meshuggah nature of his mindset wouldn't have him, in a compromised health situation. No.
You think?
But no, he's going along strong right now. He's feeling his oats there. All of those insurance checks, I think, kind of rejuvenated his affinity for life. It's been great. All right, and he's gambling more, which is good, right? Like the line in Two for the Money,
which is
where
good.
Pacino gets up there and says, "I'm gambling again." I'll send that to you, Libby. Did I send that to you? I put it up on Facebook. I'm gambling again.
I've seen it.
We'll be gambling tomorrow, and we'll be all over it with our Degenerate Friday show. So look for us at 7 o'clock here on South Florida Live and any other place where you're catching a program. 5 Reasons Sports Network airing segments of the show.
Yes.
Should be a heck of a lot of fun tomorrow with the professor and the big board and the usual cast of characters, including Mike Mayo. The Gambling Gourmet is his capacity on this show. And he will be hosting the Lunchbox from the Delaware Chicken Farm and Seafood Market, 12 o'clock today here on South Florida Live and Let's Eat South Florida on the Facebook page, a group that has 112,000 subscribers. So reaching a lot of people. A lot of people just like to see if he can set another world record for how much food he can shovel in one bite. And it's been remarkable, I would have to say. Well, worthy of any show on TV in terms of challenges. Where they say, okay, let's see you polish this off in one bite. And you're thinking, there's no way, man. I mean, that guy's not doing that.
I just love that he does it in
And
front
then before you know it, even the proproprietor is aghast. I mean, thinking,
does it in front of anyone.
anybody know the Heimlich maneuver? Anybody? Hurry.
They're like, what the hell?
And he's fine. That's the great thing about it. Comes out of it fine and continues to do the interview.
Yes, that's the best part. Is
What the hell on your head is just trying to menu?
It's like, dude, you don't have to talk right now.
Dude, man, just swallow that shit before we have an accident here. No, that's why that show's exciting, because you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't know if he's going to survive or not.
It's like he's a stunt eater.
It's like you and I really should practice, not CPR, what the Heimlich. Like we should
know the Heimlich. In fact, it should be a requirement of the show, right?
Someone's got to know the Heimlich at all times.
Even Alec Baldwin would ensure that we knew the Heimlich maneuver if we were on the set and he was, producing the Mike Mayo Lunchbox show. All right, we'll see you then. 12 o'clock today. Thanks so much for tuning in, everybody. Thanks to Dave Gurggles Gergely conducting another brilliant version of the Hialeah Park Trivia Challenge. Thanks to Tom for taking on the challenge of going against the heavyweights there.
More newcomers. Tom, who isn't even on the chat. Tom's just someone who's been viewing from afar.
Came in out of nowhere, right?
Go chat. Get in on that trivia fun.
Thanks for playing the game, and we'll see you next time as we leave you now that.
The time.
Well, the Marlins win another game in the second half. What do you think, Libby? And will Messi ever score a goal as an MLS player? What if he has no goals for his career? It's 9:07.
Let's go to eat a damn snack. Look what they done to my soul.